it's late. Honestly, it's late because I was trying to, let's fix this up a bit. I was trying to install Destiny 2, and it takes forever to install Destiny 2, and it's about only halfway, so I was waiting for that to install, and I was like, doesn't really matter. Right, May? So now I got the May. Zura's over in the reef, by the way. I figured this is one of those things where right, May? Yeah. So the cat's being cute, as always. She's being clingy, as always. She's being really cute. I'm wearing multiple layers, so I look kind of out of it. I knew... Hey, Behemoth, what's up? You heard about what's going on with Destiny, right? Destiny 2. See, I kind of suspected this was going to happen even before other people kind of suspected it, because everybody was talking about, the impairment loss on Destiny, right? So everyone was talking about the impairment loss. And I'm like thinking, it's going to happen again, right? I'm like, okay. So in order for them to prevent an impairment loss, I'm thinking, all right, the only way they're going to prevent an impairment loss is if they get cash. And hey, Zenny, what's up? I got the wedding tomorrow, or like the pre-wedding party or something. It's a Bangladesh wedding, so they have something tomorrow first, right? And like this whole thing has been on my mind the whole time, right? Just thinking about what's going on, right, with Destiny. Let's see. First off, I'm not alone, so someone's in Siva crisis. Right. Yeah, I heard about that too. That came up on my Twitter feed, but I've been really focused on Destiny's news. Because, let's see. A lot of people are talking about it, No, they've been promising updates and updates and updates. They've been promising updates, and I kind of suspected, even before, I suspected this was going to happen, because there was no talk of the next expansion. So normally by now we would have had another yearly expansion. The Year of Prophecy was later than normal for... Yeah, I heard that's good, except it's got those they-them pronouns, which is retarded. I'm not even going to humor that anymore, alright? They-them is stupid. There's no such thing as they-them, and if you think you're a they-them, just take your pants off and look between your legs. Because, my God, that is just dumb beyond words. The only thing dumber than they-them is using neo-pronouns. Alright? Okay, I don't have any patience for that. I'll admit, I know it's very good, but I'm just not into racing games. It's sort of like me with Subnautica 2, where everyone was talking about Subnautica 2. And it's not a game that was on my list. So, it's like, I'm not going to make any judgment about it. I don't play racing games. I suck on a Sparrow in Destiny, okay? So if I could even run a Sparrow, like the one time I played, neo-pronouns are fake words that they call pronouns, like zizemzir and flower self and all that BS, okay? Those are new pronouns, okay? So in addition to, you got your I'm a they, she, it, or whatever else you want to be called. You got the neo pronouns where you're making stuff up because you just need to be an even more special snowflake. Right. They need to be an even more special, delicate little snowflake with their own words because the whole world they just have no personality other than. Damn it. I'm just. You're right. I'm just. So, yeah. It's the only thing dumber than they, them pronouns is neo-pronouns. Calling yourself something, a made-up word. What the hell am I doing? Right. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's actually play the game instead of just sulk about the loss of the. So yeah, look, I think it's dumb. It's really, really dumb. What the heck? Okay, and I'm not gonna hide it. I don't care. All right, I'm too old for this nonsense. You want to be called flower self? You're stupid. All right, get mad at me all you want. What are you gonna do? Call me a phobe of some kind? Hey, thank you for the $5. Zenny, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Wow. I am doing terrible right now. What the hell am I doing? All right. You know what? Okay. My heart isn't in it. Mei, what are you doing, Mei? Okay. And I know piss off people with that whole thing, but look, there's just I'm done with this nonsense. But I did hear Forza is good. I'm just not into racing games myself. I mean, you're talking to someone who loves Destiny, right? What the? All right, I see. So, but thank you very much for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. It's just been with okay. So Destiny. I know a lot of people have been asking me about, have I heard the latest things about Destiny? Because I know people who comment on my Zerv videos have been like, you were one of the first people I thought of when it came to Destiny. First off, if Smash JT brings on Marty O'Donnell, all right, if you watch Smash JT, you tell him to bring me on because I want to speak with Marty O'Donnell. I got a lot of questions for Marty O'Donnell, all right? I also have nothing drives me nuts more than people who don't play Destiny talking about Destiny. I like Smash JT, do not. Oh my god, what the hell am I doing? Okay. Okay. I'm embarrassed. I have to go back to orbit and start this over. Okay. Slow down. So, first off, in case you haven't heard, okay, Bungie is no longer going to be adding content to Destiny 2, okay? Okay. Oh, well, first of all, what have we got? Modifiers. Catapult. Okay, so. Wait, one sec. I'm enjoying Forza so far. Created an 86 Ford F-150 dressed up as Bigfoot with little tires and 1,700 horsepower. How is it dressed up as Bigfoot? How is a car dressed up as Bigfoot? I am confused by that. What do you mean it's dressed up as... Whoa, thank you for the $10 super chat, Lawrence Knight. Chin up, cat. There will be other challenges for you. Okay. So they're shutting down Destiny. Well, they're not exactly shutting it down. They're going to put Destiny 2 into maintenance mode. Oh, the monster truck. Duh, I'm so stupid. Obviously. Okay. That makes more sense. That absolutely makes more sense. Okay. So, they're putting Destiny 2 into maintenance mode. The thing is, even though I kept repeatedly saying that I'm not going to buy the next expansion, you know as well as I was going to buy the next expansion. Even though I hadn't finished the Year of Prophecy, I would have finished it before the next expansion and bought the next one and spent the $100 for the next expansion. Because even regardless, it's Destiny 2, okay? I knew this was going to happen. I knew long before other people were saying it. The reason I knew it was going to happen was because we had no yearly update. We should have been hearing something about the new update for this year for a while now. When they did the impairment on Destiny 2, on Bungie, right? I was looking into how can they just reverse the impairment on Destiny, okay? I kept saying, okay, the only way they're going to get out of the impairment where they lost like $800 billion from Bungie is if they got more money in. Well, the problem is Bungie isn't bringing in any more money. This is serious. This impairment for Destiny 2, this impairment for Bungie, this isn't the last time it's going to happen. Nobody else is saying this, but I'm telling you, there's going to be more impairment because no money is coming into Bungie. They have to lay people off, and they still aren't bringing in money. Think about it. Every year, Bungie releases a new expansion. The expansion, the majority of it, you're paying about $100 for the expansion every year, okay? Every year you're paying $100. Let's say 2 million people buy that expansion, okay? That's $200 million just for the expansion without any cosmetics. And a lot of people buy Destiny cosmetics, okay? As much as I hate the Eververse store, they make a lot of money from the Eververse store, okay? So, and when you have a new expansion, you're going to have a whole bunch of new cosmetics, and people are going to be playing the expansion, and they're going to be buying the new cosmetics. They're not getting that money this year. There's been no talk of a new expansion for a while. That's why people have been saying, when is the next update on Destiny 2? When is the roadmap for Destiny 2? Because everyone is going, there should have been a new expansion being announced by now, and it was never announced. So I knew something was going on that was very odd when they didn't announce the new expansion. Now, now we know that Marathon only sold 1.2 million copies. To be generous, let's say it's 1.5 million. Okay, they've sold a total of 1.5 million copies. The battle pass for the season, which starts in June, is $10. Okay, that means if every single person who bought Marathon, every single person, okay, and we know for a fact not everybody's gonna do. But let's be optimistic. They sell 1.5 million copies of Marathon, and every single person buys the Battle Pass, and it's $10, okay? That's $15 million. So they're not getting the $200 million they would have gotten from Destiny 2. They're getting $15 million. No matter how many cosmetics they sell in Marathon, they are not going to make up for the loss of Destiny 2. There's no way. There is no way they're going to sell enough copies of Marathon to make up for the loss of Destiny 2. There's just no way. Whoever made this decision at Bungie was being dumb, because there is absolutely no way they're making up for this loss. I don't see how. So I knew that, first off, the fact that they hadn't announced it, I thought it was dumb, but I was starting to suspect something was off, that we were not going to get an expansion for Destiny 2. Now they're saying, okay, there is no way they're digging themselves out of this hole. There is no way. There is absolutely no way unless they lay off half the studio. They're not digging themselves out of this hole. And and all these idiots, I had one person, so this one guy posted pictures, screenshots of the play numbers for Destiny 2 and Marathon. And this other person, so I agreed with him. And this other person was calling me a whole bunch of other nasty things simply because when I took a screenshot, it had the alert for WhatsApp. So apparently, according to this person, because I have WhatsApp on my phone, I'm poor, and a PDF file, which doesn't make sense. And apparently, the fact that I play Warframe means that the information, the player numbers for Marathon are fake. I don't see. They're not getting out of this. They're not getting money in. And nobody's, and that's the problem. Without Marathon will not sustain Bungie. There is no way Marathon can sustain Bungie. There's absolutely no way. They need to sell so many copies of this game to make up. Look, okay, one sec. So the game is $40. Destiny 2 would have gotten them $200 million, right? Destiny 2 would have gotten them $200 million. At its worst, let's even go with, Destiny 2 at its worst. Okay? 100 million, okay? They need to sell 2.5 million copies of Marathon. More. They're not going to get it. And these people on X, these Marathon players, are living in delusional la la land. They're acting like I think they make some money. I haven't played it in a while because honestly, you want to know something? I want a real Destiny game. I like Destiny Rising. Don't get me wrong. But I want a real Destiny game. I don't want a mobile... Oh, shoot. I don't want a mobile gacha game. I want a Destiny 3. And they're not even working on Destiny 3. They haven't even started working on Destiny 3. Are they out of their... What are they doing? What have they been doing all this time? Like, I don't understand it. Digital Extremes has half as many people as Bungie, right? They're working on Warframe and Soulframe. And you may not like Warframe, but at least they haven't sacrificed Warframe for Soulframe, right? That doesn't make sense. So I do know they make some money from Destiny Rising. But it's not enough. They probably make some money from Destiny Rising. But keep in mind, they're not the developer of Destiny Rising. That was made by NetEase. And I think they bought, like, the license. Let me ask. Let me look online. Let me see. One sec. How much money? Let me look it up. How much money does Bungie make from Destiny Rising? Okay. Okay, Bungie does not directly collect or report ongoing revenue from Destiny Rising because the game is developed, published, and operated exclusively by NetEase. Bungie only receives licensing royalties from the IP. So they're not making much money from Destiny Rising then either. I thought they were getting a portion of the profit. No. They're not. So they're just getting the licensing fee. So they're not making that much. So I guess Destiny Rising is not going to help them either. I thought it would help them a little. There's no... May, you're making it very, very difficult to play video games right now. All right, May. Look. I love you, May, but we gotta fix you, okay? You're gonna fall. You're gonna fall, sweetie. Mwah. So that's a problem then. If they're not getting a percentage of the profit from Destiny Rising, then what are they making money on? I've seen the cosmetics from Marathon, and I'm sorry, but that stuff is ugly. And and I'm guessing here, since I haven't played Marathon, that the shop isn't as extensive or big as Destiny. Destiny still has a massive in-game shop, so they still have older stuff as well to make money from. Mina's being a Mimi. She's right here. Here you, Mimi. Little baby Mimi. And to find out that they're shutting, that it's what we suspected from the beginning. This is what we suspected all along, right? What did we suspect? That they were sacrificing Destiny 2 for Marathon. We knew they were sacrificing Destiny 2 for Marathon, okay? We knew that. And now we have proof. So, personally, I'm on a vendetta quest to destroy Marathon, okay? I don't care. I hate that game more than anything. Even there's talk of PvE isn't going to be there for at least, from the sounds of it, a year. How did he do that? I'm just not... Like, I all right. Let's see. Oh my god, what? Oh, because it's arc burn. Duh. What am I doing today? I'm just... No, you know what? I've reached the point that even if destroying Marathon will not bring Destiny 2 back, or Destiny 3 or any of that, at the bare minimum, screw Marathon, let it suffer, let it burn. They took away Destiny 2 for Marathon. I hope Marathon fails catastrophically. I don't care. I don't care if you enjoy Marathon. I don't care if you like Marathon. I hope that stupid game fails catastrophically. I had one person telling me, no, you have to buy Marathon so Bungie gets money so they can make Destiny 3. No, oh my god. No, I don't. Okay? That's exactly like saying, oh, you want more good Star Wars? You have to watch Acolyte. No, I don't. Okay? Okay? No, I don't. I hope Marathon fails. I hope they regret it every day. I hope the leadership at Bungie and Sony wake up every day and regret Marathon for what they did. They have treated Destiny 2 players like garbage for years. Okay? They have treated Destiny players terribly for years. And it's karma for everything they did to Destiny players. And yes, wokeness did destroy Destiny 2. It wasn't just bad management. Bad management chose the woke nonsense that they put in the game. They made a game not for their audience. They stopped making a game for Destiny players and made it for their stupid agenda. And I'll tell you, everybody keeps thinking that the reason they made an extraction shooter was because they thought it would be the new trend or the new hotness or the new thing, right? I'll tell you why they made an extraction shooter. It had nothing to do with that, okay? They made an extraction shooter because they're lazy. Because an extraction shooter is basically Destiny, but with all the extra fat cut out, okay? What do you do when you take away all of the difficult stuff from Destiny 2? You take away the campaign, the open world, the Crucible, most of the Crucible, the variety in the Crucible, right? Most of the loot. Think about it. You don't need that much loot in Marathon. Why? Because every 3 or 4 months, the entire season is going to get reset. They hated the fact that they sunset a whole bunch of stuff in Destiny 2, right? And the players got angry, so they said they won't sunset. Well, now, you go into Marathon, everything is going to get sunset every season. What is Marathon? It is cheap, lazy, bare bones Destiny 2. No campaign, no open world, no story, minimal designs, minimal effort. Sunsetting weapons, so you don't have to be creative in your weapons. How many exotics? They released an exotic for their stupid crypto archive thing, and everyone lost their minds because the thing was too powerful. So everything is just the bare minimum. It is the way you want to be lazy and make a looter shooter. You make an extraction because they didn't even make a decent. You know, the funny thing is, that's exactly what I was thinking, too. Make a Give, Send, Go or a GoFundMe or something. Right? And, be like, hey, we need $200 million. Who's going to donate $200 million to save Destiny 2? Or, the thing, they're not even working on Destiny 3. It's like you had something unique and had something for everyone in Destiny. See, look. First off, I'm just going to say, one of the most annoying things, let me be clear about dealing with the whole loss of Destiny 2, okay? One of the first things is the moronic idiots on X. My God, some of the people that you deal with on X are stupid on a level that cannot even begin to be described. Like, there's a level of stupid on X that blows my mind. When, like, one person posts the numbers for Marathon versus Destiny 2, and instead of saying anything about the numbers, excuse me, you know what? The person insults another person insults the poster. So I come in, I defend the original poster. I'm like, he's right. There are more people playing Destiny 2 than Marathon. Supporting Marathon was stupid. And this person's like, Well, you're just a Warframe player. You accept Warframe slot. I'm like, what does the fact that I play Warframe, which by the way, I screenshot my bio. Okay, my bio on X says Corpus marketing director and a whole bunch about the Corpus. But underneath it, my location on X is the last safe city on Earth. Last time I checked, there's no last safe city in Warframe. So I'm like, okay, no, I haven't even played Warframe in several weeks. Well, yeah, they put in at least the content they vaulted. We'll never get the Red War back now. We're never getting the Red War back, and I loved the Red War. No, so this person, right, then starts telling me how I'm poor in a PDF file. Why am I poor in a PDF file? Oh, because I had an alert on my phone when I did the screen capture for WhatsApp. For WhatsApp. So only poor people and PDF files use WhatsApp. You want to know why I have WhatsApp on my phone? Because I have family overseas and we talk through WhatsApp. But completely ignores my entire argument about the fact that there are more people playing Destiny 2 than Marathon and points out that I have WhatsApp on my phone. Like, seriously, the first most annoying part of this whole thing are the stupid people. Yeah, no. They're trying to use Warframe as an insult and WhatsApp as an insult. That neither of them make any sense at all, okay? So, first off, dealing with these people are so ridiculously annoying. At least you and me, Rez, I liked it. You know what? One of the most fun I had was talking back and forth and arguing with you and debating with you over Starfleet and the Corpus. You made me think about a lot of things, Rez. You really made me think about a lot of things, how I could improve it. You made me think more about the Tenno angle. So even though I was arguing with you, I was also thinking what you said, and it makes me think. And you didn't make fun of me or insult me or say anything like that. No, these people just, right? Okay? And Warframe is thriving. And you want to know why Warframe is thriving? Because all the people who play Destiny 2 didn't go to play Marathon. Most of Destiny 2 players are not going to play Marathon because you don't understand Destiny 2 players. Okay? Excuse me. These people don't understand Destiny 2 players. We're hoarders. I mean, look at my vault is full of stuff. Okay? You want me to believe that Destiny 2 players are going to want to play an extraction shooter. The majority of Destiny 2 players don't want to play an extraction shooter. They want to hoard loot and play PvE, some PvP, but PvE, get their loot and use their loot. Even when they use their loot in PvP, why? So they can get more loot and show off the loot they collected. It's not so they risk losing it. Well, but I want to know how I can make it better. I want to make it believable for anyone who who likes Warframe that it makes sense. So everything you said, I thought about it, right? Because I want it to be as canonical as possible. I don't want to break any canon. But no, for the first and most annoying part about the whole thing with Destiny 2 and Marathon is the stupid people who live in La La Land. Okay? I had one person telling me that apparently I'm not a hardcore gamer because I don't play Marathon, right? And then, and I'm not a hardcore, and he's like, said that because I don't like I'm angry by the state of Destiny 2, and that I don't play Marathon, I'm not a true Bungie fan. And then this guy tells me he hates Destiny and Destiny 2, but he's a real hardcore, gamer because he plays Marathon 2 to 3 hours a day and has apparently 4 kids and is married, but plays Marathon 2 to 3 hours a day. Dude, I don't want to be a hardcore gamer if it means playing Marathon. Like, these people are dumb. This guy is telling me he owns his own business, and when I point out to him there's no way Marathon can sustain Bungie, he just tells me how he likes it and it's fine and people love the game. You run your own business, but you don't understand that you need money to run it? Oh no, most of them sound stupid like they're. But that's the annoying thing. You find so much of the conversation is full of people like that who are so dumb, who are so caught up in this caught up in just there's no they're just they are so caught up in worshiping a marathon. Okay? And without any understanding of the facts. That's what I said. So I told him I feel bad for his wife. You got 4 kids, and you want me to believe that you play marathon 2 to 3 hours every day? I barely have 2 to 3 hours to play. I don't play 2 hours of video games every day, and I don't have kids because I come home exhausted from work. Okay? And you want me to believe that you play video games for 2 to 3 hours a day? You play marathon for 2 to 3 hours a day. Yeah, sure. And you own your own business. Right, Habibi. Sure. So first I was dealing with the really stupid people who don't seem to grasp reality. More people are playing Destiny 2 than Marathon. Even if the Steam numbers have more people playing Marathon, okay? If it's by a couple thousand, it doesn't make a difference because the majority of Marathon players are on Steam. So when you look at the Steam numbers, 70% of Marathon players are on Steam. But with Destiny 2, most players are not on Steam. They're on console. So let's be generous and say it's 50-50. Okay? Let's say 50% of players are on Steam, 50% are on console. You still have more people playing Destiny 2 than Marathon. On top of that, Destiny 2 has the bigger potential for profit right now. Every year you release an expansion for $100. At least 1 million people buy it, usually more. Okay, at least 1 million people buy it. That's $100 million. The cosmetic store in Destiny 2, as much as I don't like it, is much bigger, more developed, and more active than Marathon. The armor is much better looking in the Destiny 2 cosmetic store. You want to make money. You want to protect Bungie. You want to save Bungie and make money and keep that studio going, you would promote Destiny 2. I agree with someone else who pointed out they should have been working on it was Endymion. Oh no, they don't have any big base. The game is not going to survive. And on top of that, you manage to 70% of the people who are playing Marathon are Destiny 2 players, okay? They know that. 70% of the people who play Marathon are Destiny 2 players. Well, congratulations. A lot of those Destiny 2 players, okay? A lot of those Destiny 2 players who are playing Marathon are playing it because they think there's going to be a Destiny 3. They were looking forward to more Destiny 2. They wanted to play more Bungie games. I bet you they managed to piss off a large percentage of their player base. A lot of those Destiny 2 players who are playing Marathon, do you think that they're going to go back to Marathon when they find out that the direct reason why Destiny 2 is not being added more content and we're not getting Destiny 3 is because of Marathon? As numerous people have pointed out on X, congratulations, Bungie, you're just doubled the people who are pissed off at you. Right? I agree with you. The shells are hideous. There's nothing in the cosmetics store to buy. So between there's no cosmetics to buy in Marathon. The cosmetics, at least a lot of them in Destiny 2, I won't deny it. If they weren't so expensive, I probably would have bought a couple of them. But it's $15 each. I'm not spending that kind of money on cosmetics. But I won't deny it. Some of the cosmetics in Destiny 2 look very, very cool. Some of the emotes in Destiny 2 are very, very cool. Okay? I'm not going to lie. I genuinely really don't understand what they're doing. Okay? What they're doing doesn't make any sense at all. They are supporting the game that's failing. Like, who is sitting at Bungie going, this is a good idea? The only reason I can think that they're supporting Marathon over Destiny 2 is because Marathon requires less input work and effort than Destiny 2. Marathon is easier. There are 4 maps in Marathon. There is more content in the Crucible in Destiny 1 than in Marathon. That's the crazy thing. There's more content in Destiny 1's Crucible than Marathon. So it's a lot easier to maintain Marathon. You probably don't need nearly as many people maintaining Marathon. Oh, Red Death is awesome. Red Death, I absolutely love Red Death. I always carry it. So that's a good first exotic to get. Absolutely, 100% good first exotic to get. I'm just trying to cope with everything going on. That's why I'm like, all right, tomorrow I have a wedding and people are asking, I'm known for loving Destiny. That's what I'm known for. I'm known for sticking to making Destiny 1 content and I don't understand what they're thinking. There's no way they're going to get money to maintain Bungie focusing on Marathon. Like, I really don't understand that. And you really think, like, how many... I'm sure I'm not the only Destiny... Hey, what's up? Ooh, Slayer, that's cool. How do you not make Destiny 3? At this point, I wouldn't mind even a single-player Destiny game in the world of Destiny at this point. I just loved... Well, before they ruined it, I loved the world of Destiny. I absolutely love the world of Destiny. The thing is, okay. Okay, now that's cool. I've never been to a concert, so that's cool. I have a wedding party tomorrow for my brother, so... Look, let me be clear, okay? I will be bluntly honest, right? If Marathon was doing better than Destiny 2, I would have said it. Whether I liked it or not, I would have said it. Even if I don't like Marathon, if Marathon was doing better than Destiny 2, I would have said it. It's not. If I saw potential for profit to maintain the studio with Marathon, I would have said it. Marathon is not going to maintain Bungie. Okay? There's no way that Marathon can maintain Bungie. They're going to lose a lot of jobs now. A lot of people are going to get fired because there's not enough money coming in. Marathon does not have enough money to maintain Bungie. As much as we don't like it to be like, oh well, they need to keep their artistic vision, you still need to keep the lights on. Okay? You still have to be able to pay these people. You're not going to get enough money out of Marathon. It's not going to become big. And the fact that I don't know how they thought that was going to happen doesn't make any sense to me. And all these people living in this delusion where they think that a game like Marathon is somehow going to have an amazing Taken King turnaround. Okay? It's not Destiny. Destiny still, even Destiny 1, appealed to a wider audience. If you bring out Destiny 3, if you announce it, even a lot of the people, I'm listening to a lot of people talking about Destiny 2 right now, as from Heel versus Babyface, and Demion, a lot of people who said they played Destiny 2 and stopped at one point, said if they announced Destiny 3, they would jump on to Destiny 3. Okay? When Destiny 2 came out, everybody I knew was playing Destiny 2. Everybody I knew. Hey Alex, happy Friday. And happy end of Destiny 2. The thing is, they have to want to make a good game. And one person asked, how does Warframe do it? And I'll tell you how Warframe does it. If they made this, hell, at this point, if they continue to maintain Destiny 2 while focusing a portion of their team on Destiny 3, they would make more money than Marathon. Even a garbage expansion from Destiny 2 brings in more players than Marathon. Edge of Fate was terrible. And that had more players than Marathon. Okay? I'm curious to know, so which one is, I'm going to have to leave again to get my gear, to set up I just want to see which one this is. First off we have Catapult. Okay. There, just, you look at it, right, logically, Marathon cannot, unless you sell millions of copies, which they're not going to sell. You think right now, okay? Yes. On top of that, the people who make Warframe, play Warframe, are passionate about Warframe. Are they a woke studio? Hell my god, yes. But they keep their priority on the game, not on their message, not on activism. They keep it to the game. They want to make a good game. They want to make a good lore accurate. They don't change the lore of Warframe to fit their message like Destiny 2 did. Okay? I think I need, let me see, what do I have? Okay. They listen to their players, but also they play their game. That's the important thing. They play the game. They care. Like the fact that Rebecca Ford, they do live streams where they talk about the game. They also don't let Soulframe affect Warframe. Warframe is their breadwinner, and they know it. So, what? They focus on, they make sure Warframe doesn't suffer. I have to say, I respect Digital Extremes. Why? Because when Wayfinder, okay, when they started publishing their own game, so Digital Extremes decided to start publishing, and the first game they published was Wayfinder, right? When they realized that Wayfinder was going to affect Warframe, they dropped and stopped publishing games. Their priority is Warframe. They have to do, Warframe has to do good, because that's where they make their bread and butter right now, not Soulframe. They cannot sacrifice Warframe for Soulframe. But what is Bungie doing? They're sacrificing Destiny 2 for Marathon, a game that has already proven it's not a profitable game for them. I mean, genuinely, what can they do between now and the second season to get people back in? I don't see what they can do. They don't have enough cosmetics to sell. The PvE isn't even going to be added until I think it's like season 5. So they're not even going to add this like PvE component. And even if they do, it's an extraction shooter. It's a minimum amount of stuff. It's not Destiny. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to turn, what is it? You haven't played since Final Shape. You want the truth? I haven't finished it. I started, okay, Year of Prophecy, I have it, okay? And I'm planning on playing it now. I'm installing Destiny right now. Destiny 2 again. But I can tell you this. I could not finish Year of Prophecy. Okay? Edge of Fate. The map. Kepler. The map for Edge of Fate. Wait, what is it? Arc Age Chronicles. I'll look it up. Kepler. Okay, I haven't played Soulframe yet. I think one of the nice things about Warframe is the fact that I can disappear for several weeks without a problem and not worry about losing content. Okay, my actual thoughts on Year of Prophecy, because you're asking me about Year of Prophecy. Okay, I couldn't finish Edge of Fate. Kepler is a horrible map. When I say that Curse of Osiris was a better expansion than Edge of Fate, that is an objective truth. It's not subjective, it is objective. Okay? Curse of Osiris brought in a map, a nice map. Mercury was small. Don't get me wrong. Mercury was small, but it was wide open. It had public events. It had a unique public event for Mercury. If you remember, I don't know if you remember it, but it had a unique public event that was specific for Mercury. It had a lost sector. I loved that lost sector. I love that. I used to go to that lost sector all the time. It had a wide open map that you can go across. It was a nice map, okay? It was small, but it was a cool map. Kepler is a cramped, horrible map. It's tunnels. There are no public events. There are no patrols. Okay? It's a cramped, ugly, horrible map. It's just tunnels. On top of that, it is stupid. The map doesn't make sense. You have that base with no walls and no nothing, and you have people, I can't even remember what they're called, the people that what's his name was talking to. Let me see if I can even get into Destiny 2 if it has installed yet. No, it's still installing. The Ionians, I think they're called. I can't remember what they're called. They're standing within shooting distance of the enemies on the map. There are Vex and Fallen, and they are within shooting distance, and they're standing there within range. The map doesn't make any sense at all. Because it's like, just they're standing out there in the open, okay? Okay? Kepler is horrible. It is the dumbest map I have ever seen. You don't get any new strikes. You're not getting anything new Crucible or Gambit or any of that. There's no public events. There's no patrols. It's a horrible map. As for the Renegades, so on top of that, the stupid Sonic the Hedgehog, Metroid. Okay. As for Renegades, I have not played it. Everything I saw of that it is so Star Wars that it just, I liked Star Wars before they destroyed Star Wars. I haven't played it yet, so I can't tell you anything about it. If I was the CEO of Bungie, okay, I don't see how they're going to survive this. The first thing I would do, there's nothing, the problem is nothing is coming out of Edge of Fate or Renegade after that. Okay, if I were the CEO of Bungie, okay, this is what I would do. Okay? The first thing I would do is I would say, we hear you. We were wrong. We hear you. We hear you're angry about the loss of Destiny 2. We haven't been listening to our community for a very... This is probably not going to work. And I'm probably not doing this right because I'm not a CEO. But this is what I would do. I would come out and I would make a video. And I would say, we hear you. We underestimated... Let's put it this way. We underestimated how important Destiny 2 is to you. We were looking at the numbers and we didn't realize how important Destiny 2 is for you. Right? We promise to continue to add content to Destiny 2 until we release Destiny 3. And apologize and say that we want to be more involved. And this time, prove it. Go back over the last year and look at what everybody said and start making changes now. You have lost all trust with the best Destiny 2 community. Nobody trusts Bungie at this point. Okay? Nobody trusts Bungie. I would also talk to Sony and be like, because I did an estimate with Grok, so it's probably not perfect, but according to Grok, it will take 12 to 18 months to remake, to remaster and PC port Destiny 2. Destiny 1. Let me do it again. One sec. Let me. One sec. Yeah, your vault is... I have to go through my vault, too. As far as I understand, my vault is worthless. All right, let me ask Grok again, just to do it again, all right? Okay. Let me ask it again, because I asked it a while ago, and it told me, okay, how much would it cost to port Destiny to PC and remaster Destiny? And how long would it take? Okay. Okay, so, alright, so my apologies for the pausing the game. Porting Destiny 1, 2014, to PC and remastering it would likely cost between $5 and $20 million and take 6 to 24 months depending on scope. This is a rough estimate based on industry benchmarks for AAA titles. It's not a simple task due to Destiny 1's age, original console-only design, and engine complexities. Okay, so basically, it will take about... It will take between $5 and $20 million and between 6 to 24 months. What I would do is I would, in the interim, port Destiny 1 to PC and remaster it. $20 million, you'll make it back. Port Destiny 1 to console, remaster Destiny 1 and port it to PC. You can put a small number of people on that. First off, you drop Marathon at this point. Marathon is not making you money. You're going to have to bite the bullet and admit it. You can have a couple people working on putting Marathon in maintenance mode. Okay? But Marathon shouldn't need too many people. Hell, you know what? Then have Sony have a different developer, not Bungie, because Bungie doesn't have the people. Have somebody other than Bungie port Destiny and remaster Destiny. Realize that you are investing in Destiny right now, right? Okay, you need to earn the trust back of the players. Okay, so let me think clearly. Okay, first, do not put Marathon in service mode. But you're going to have to cut the amount of people you have working on Marathon. You shouldn't need a lot of people working on Marathon. Why do you have hundreds of people working on Marathon? You have, 30, 40 people working on Clair Obscure Expedition 33? Why do you need 500 people working on Marathon? I don't understand. Why do you need 500 people? How many people are working on Warframe? How many people are working on Warframe? Okay? According to this, you have 200 people working on Warframe. Why do you have 3 times as many people working on Marathon? Marathon is a much smaller game than Warframe. Why do you have 200 people working on Warframe and over 400 people, sorry, not 3 times, 2 times as many, and over 400 people working on Marathon. Marathon is a much smaller game. You cut down the number of people working on Marathon. You are not going to be making a PvE mode for Marathon, okay? First, like I said, you can't cut, you're right. They cannot cut support to Marathon. But you cut the number of people working on it and you get better people. Honestly, you know what the first thing Bungie should do? Do what Elon Musk did, okay? Remember when Elon Musk first took over Twitter? And he was like, I want you to email me telling me what you're doing. I want to keep, yes. I have to tell my boss every day what I'm planning on doing. Every morning I have to do a kind of check-in thing. So my first thing is, okay, you go through every developer at Bungie right now and you see who's actually contributing. Every single one. Everyone has to basically reapply. Given the state of Bungie, okay, I'm going to say it. Every person at Bungie needs to reapply for their job and prove that they deserve to work there. Every single person, okay, every single person at Bungie, step 1. You want to fix Destiny 2, Bungie, and Marathon? Step 1. Every single person at Bungie has to reapply for their job. Okay? Yes. No. You want to know what? I hate to say this. Bungie is on the verge of bankruptcy right now. They need to understand this. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. Your company is is dying. Right now, Bungie is dying. They will take more cuts in valuation if they don't fix things. So step one, you're going to have to bring in somebody who doesn't give a shit. You're going to have to bring in somebody who's going to be like, I'm here to save your company. Okay? That's step 1. Step 2, every employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job. You tell them that you're expecting to have to cut 50% of the people at Bungie. And in order to decide that, prove to me you deserve to work for Bungie. Bungie isn't any developer. That's the problem. They act like Bungie is any developer. Bungie is a pedigree and a history. You want to work for Bungie? Prove to me you deserve to work at Bungie. Every single employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job. Because why the hell do you have 200 people working for Digital Extremes on Warframe? Digital Extremes is in Canada. It is one of the most woke companies and woke places in the world right now. And you want me to believe that that they hire based on DEI? No. Warframe, Digital Extremes, belongs to Tencent. You want to know what happens if DE doesn't deliver? Tencent comes in and says, why the hell are you not delivering? I have no doubt about it. Why do you think you still see sexy skins in Warframe instead of woke nonsense androgynous garbage? Because Tencent owns Digital Extremes. And if Digital Extremes doesn't deliver, they're done. They know that. They're not stupid. I mean, they love their game and they want to make their game great. And I know Rebecca likes hot, sexy characters and all of that. I know. But on top of that, do you think that Tencent's going to let them get away with whatever they want if they don't deliver? The only reason Digital Extremes can do what they want is because they deliver. So Tencent's like, all right, we're not going to mess with you because you bring in the money. The moment they stop bringing in the money, Tencent's going to be on them. So that's the thing. You want me to believe, how the hell is Warframe functioning with 200 developers? And Marathon has less content. Why the hell did it take you 6 years? And you couldn't even design the art for yourself. You had to copy somebody else's art. And you have 400, 500 people, more than half. So we know they have 800 people at least at Bungie right now. That means they have like 500 people working on Marathon. Why the hell are there 500 people working on Marathon? Marathon is a smaller game than Warframe. It is a less complicated game than Warframe. Your Warframe has 60 different Warframes in it alone. And they have to somehow figure out the balance for every single one of them. Okay? You want to save Bungie? One, you bring in somebody who doesn't give a damn. Who you tell them, you have to fix this company. Your job isn't agendas, promoting people, DEI. Your job, if you get a job at Bungie, is to save Bungie. Number two, every employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job. They are facing layoffs. You don't want to be one of those people cut? Prove to me why you shouldn't be cut. Period. You have to prove it. And then you're going to get some of the best people working on Marathon. And you're going to cut down the number of people working on Marathon to 200. No more than 200 people should be working on Marathon. If Digital Extremes can handle 200 people working on Warframe, 200 people can be working on Marathon. Hell, I'll even be generous, 300 people working on Marathon. But honestly, it shouldn't be more than 200. Then you go to Sony and you say, Sony, we effed up. And we're a long-term investment. We need your help. We know we messed up. We want to port Destiny because they have no trust with their player base. We want to port Destiny to PC and remaster it. According to Grok, at most it will take 2 years and cost $20 million. 18 months. You have 18 months, a year and a half, to port Destiny to PC and remaster it. And you charge $60 for everything. You don't re-release it in order. You do it $60. You also back down on your decision about Destiny 2. You come to your community and you say, we're sorry. We didn't realize how important Destiny 2 was to you. We were wrong. We underestimated how important Destiny 2 is to you. We're reversing our decision to stop supporting Destiny 2. Understand we don't have a lot of content due for Destiny 2, but we plan on making more Destiny 2 content until you get Destiny 3. I understand it's according to Grok, but that is the best estimate, okay? Okay. Yeah, but you know what? I agree with you about Tencent. But on the other hand, Tencent is what keeps Warframe functional. Okay? You want to know whose example you should be following? Merrick Tominsky, Lords of the Fallen. I was listening to, I think it's Legendary Drops' video about Lords of the Fallen. And he pointed out that game was failing. You have to go yes, you're going to have to go into Bungie right now and go Scorched Earth. You want to know what else? I've said this repeatedly and I'm going to say it again. Every diversity club is gone. And if Kotaku or Polygon or anybody complains, ignore them. You get rid of every diversity club at Bungie. There are none. No women at Bungie, no black at Bungie, no trans at Bungie, none of that. That's gone. You go to work for one reason and one reason only. Okay? You want to go to work? You want to work at Bungie? You want to know what you do at Bungie? You work. You go to your job to work. You don't go there to hang out with other women at Bungie, or trans at Bungie, or pride at Bungie, or black at Bungie, or whatever else, Latinx at Bungie. It's not Latinx, but they call it Latinx. Okay? No, you get rid of every one of those. You have no clubs, no none of that. Why do you go to work? Why do we pay you? You get paid the premium amount because you're in Seattle. Why are you getting paid? Okay? You get rid of all of that. And if anybody complains, you tell them there's the door. We don't have enough money to keep you hired. You are lucky right now to have a job at Bungie. Anybody who complains, you point at the door. You're like, we need to fire people. You're lucky. You don't like it? There's the door. That's it. Bungie is in a position where anybody who bothers them or messes around in any way, you fire them. You do not have the money to pay for these people. So anybody who gives you any problem, you just fire them. That's it. You don't have the money. You're not in a position to pander to people. And the employees at Bungie are not in a position to get what they want. So if anybody says, well, I want my trans at Bungie club, how dare you get rid of it? Okay, go find another company that has it. You are definitely not in this position right now to be able to accept that. Any person who has a job at Bungie after this is lucky to have that job. You have to go scorched earth. Period. You have to. And you get in people who are good developers, top of the line developers, efficient developers who do not come to whine and complain, and who actually love the property you're working on. Which is why I said the only clubs you have at Bungie, Warlocks at Bungie, Titans at Bungie, Hunters at Bungie. That means you care about the game. If you care about the game, you have a preference. Okay? You hire people who play video games. I'm sorry, the story writing is shit. You hired a bunch of women for the sake of hiring women. Absolutely not. If your specialty yes, Overwatch realized what they were doing and made changes. Bungie has to, as Rez put it, go scorched earth right now. You are in Bungie is in a desperate position because I'm telling you, they're going to have to lower that valuation. Okay? They're going to drop their valuation. Where is money going to come? Think about it. How are they going to keep their valuation? Where is money going to come in for Bungie right now? I already went through the math, but let me say it again, okay? Right. You don't have an expansion for Destiny 2 right now. That yearly expansion, that $100 expansion for Destiny 2 isn't coming. You're not getting that $100 or $200 million. You're not getting the cosmetics. How many people are going to buy cosmetics for Destiny 2 now that you think it's going to get shut down? You're not getting the money from the cosmetics. You're not getting the money from the expansions. So you have no money coming in. You have very little money coming in from Destiny 2. Marathon? Do you really think Marathon is going to sell millions of copies in the next couple of months? Because you need it in the next couple of months. You don't need Marathon to sell 1 million copies over the next year. You need money now. You need it in the next couple of months because the next finance meeting is in August. It's May. I heard someone say it, but you want me? Let me double check it. When is the next finance meeting for Sony? Let me find it. Sony's next finance meeting. Okay. So their next investor meeting is Friday, July 31st. July. They have to, no, that's the thing. I agree with you. They are deep with the blue sky hivers, but it doesn't matter. That's why I'm saying you have to go scorched earth. Anybody goes, but trans, but man, but you tell them to F off. Your company is facing another investor meeting. When is the investor meeting? Friday, July 31st. Do you really think Bungie can afford another loss in valuation? Because it's going to happen. There's going to be a loss in value again. And how do you think Sony's going to take it? When Sony has to, again, go to their investors and tell them Bungie didn't meet expectations. What do you think is going to happen in August, on July 31st? Oh, the blue sky said they want a trans flag. Do you think the investors care? Because I'm a Nintendo investor. I have money in Nintendo. And you want to know what my opinion is? I don't care. I want my stock going up. I own over $1,000 in stock from Nintendo. And when they start complaining and if Nintendo came to me and said, "We made this stupid decision because of because of blue sky, and we didn't want to hurt people's feelings or any of that," I would tell them to get the F out of here. I have over $1,000 in Nintendo stock, which is nothing compared to a lot of people. And my attitude is, I don't care. So if you're a Sony investor, which I'm not. But if I were a Sony investor, if I were somebody who wanted to see Bungie succeed, I would tell them in fact, I would tell them to uninstall Blue Sky from every computer at Bungie. No official Bungie accounts on Blue Sky then. You have a problem with the people at Blue Sky complaining about your policies at Bungie? You don't have a Blue Sky account then. You don't need it. How many people are on Blue Sky anyway? Do you really need a Blue Sky account? If you have a problem and you feel the need to please the people at Blue Sky, then to hell with it. My policy, scorched earth on Bungie? You work for Bungie? You don't have a Bungie account. You want an account on Blue Sky? Bungie is not in your bio. You do not mention that you work for Bungie on Blue Sky. You have a problem with it? There's the door. Again, any infraction at Bungie right now should lead you right to the door because they don't have the money. You are lucky right now. Bungie should be, if Bungie were an independent studio and not owned by Sony, they would be closing the doors right now. You have to go scorched earth. Nobody's going to listen to me. Everybody's going to talk about memories and happy feelings and whatever. Okay? Or we need to care about the developers. I understand. But you know something? You have two choices here. You can completely shut down Bungie and nobody has a job. Or you can try and save as much of it as possible and hope that if you do a good job and you manage to maintain Bungie, that in 5 years you can double the company. But right now, you're going down the tubes. You need to make it so that, okay, you're going to lose jobs now, but in the future, you will make Bungie grow and you will bring back those jobs. Do you want to shut Bungie's doors down and get rid of the majority of the people? Or get rid of anybody who starts whining about my women at Bungie club? Because clearly, if you are unhappy that they got rid of women at Bungie, then you're not working hard enough and you shouldn't be there. I go to work, and I go to work, okay? I don't go sitting around talking to all I do happen to work with at least 2 other Muslims. We don't have Muslims at where I work. We don't have any of that. So no, you have a problem with people complaining about you on Blue Sky? Uninstall Blue Sky and get rid of all the accounts. Don't even listen to them. You have a problem? Kotaku complains? What have we learnt? Kotaku complains about anything and the gamers do the opposite. You have a better way of succeeding and making money by pissing off Kotaku and Polygon. You want Bungie to succeed? Look at Merrick Tominsky. Hell, I would bring in Merrick Tominsky and tell him we need your help. I would bring in Marty O'Donnell, if he has time since he's running for Congress, and tell him we need your help. The company is dying. And if you do not get that into your head, you are screwed. This is me talking about how they need to fix Bungie. Because that company is going to shut. If they do not get drastic and go scorched earth, they're screwed. Period. You need to go scorched earth on Bungie right now and start focusing on the fact that you need money. Bungie will suffer impairment losses at the next investors call if things don't start to change. And right now, they're not going to get money from Destiny 2. They're not going to get enough money from Marathon. So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to start laying off people. And do you really think in the long term Marathon is going to come close to Destiny 2? These games do not usually grow. Even Destiny 2, which was huge. No. I'm going to keep saying, you have to go scorched earth. It's the truth. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the truth. You cannot get emotional and touchy-feely about this. You are facing bankruptcy. Bungie is facing losing everything. And you want me to care that you don't have your black at Bungie. You want me to care that you want to hire enough women. I hate to say this, but if you do not fix it, there's going to be no women working at Bungie. They don't have time for this nonsense. That's the thing. Not enough people are pointing this out. Everybody's talking about, yes, I understand your memories of destiny. You have the people on the Marathon side living in La La Land thinking that somehow Marathon is going to save Bungie. It's not. You have to wake up. Marathon is not going to save Bungie. Period. It's not. Okay? The thing is, oh no, I'm pretty sure most people who actually care about the game will agree with this. I'm not being emotional. I'm being flat out logical. I'm looking at it and going, okay, first of all, I work in retail, okay? You want to sell something. You want your store to open and remain open. You need money coming in. When you have customers coming in, you give them what they want. Okay? You cannot rule by your feelings. You can't. You're going to destroy the company. And yes, a part of me is sad that I do not want. The thing is, I think at the end of the day, I don't want Bungie to fail. But we need to fix Bungie. And we need to, like I said, go scorched earth. Okay? They do not have. I guess it's because I've watched Caleb Hammer a lot. You do not have the, and maybe because I'm also a big fan of the corpus, because, this whole idea of feelings and emotion and all of that being luxuries. Bungie does not have the luxury of DEI. Bungie does not have the luxury of pandering to what you want. They don't. They need you to get into work, and go home. I understand we're not going to push a crunch culture. Good. You don't want that? Okay, fine. At the bare minimum, I want you to come in, clock in at 9 o'clock, and leave at 5 or 6, and work. You get an hour of break, you work, and you leave. Why is it that's how it's expected of me? I go to work, I'm expected to work from the moment I work until I get my break, and then I go back to work again. Why is it you expect that you should have a better luxury than that? You get paid 3 or 4 times as much as I do. You think they do not have the luxury of being soft. I agree. That's why I said, okay, they need to, as I said, because it blows my mind that 200 people are working on Warframe, a bigger game than Marathon. That's the problem. That's the serious problem. They do not want to accept that they are in a messed up position. The fact that they have the audacity to come out here and tell me that Marathon is better than Destiny 2. Look, you know me, okay? 100%. I will be as unbiased as possible, okay? For example, I love Warframe. Do I call it a perfect game? Absolutely not. When people come in here and they tell me they have problems with Warframe, I completely agree. So I will tell you this. If Marathon was more successful than Destiny 2, even though I don't like Marathon, I would have said support Marathon. But we know for a fact more people are playing Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has the higher profit potential, and even in its present state, Destiny 2 has the chance to make more money than Marathon. Whether you like... No, at this point, there's more people working on Marathon than Destiny 2. So there's about 500 people working on Marathon, and about 300 or 400, I think 350. It's more people. They've officially come out. More people are working on Marathon. It's about half and half, but there's still slightly more on Marathon, and they're probably going to be firing a lot of the Destiny 2 people. But that means there are over 800 people at Bungie. That means there's over 400 people working on Marathon. Why are there 400 people working on Marathon? Oh yeah, no, DE, I just looked it up. 200 people are working on Destiny. DE, 200 people are working on Warframe. according to Grok. So I could be wrong. Yeah, so they have them half and half, and neither game suffers. Digital Extremes, how many people? I think they have 500 people. Digital Extreme. Okay. They have about 450 people at Digital Extremes. Okay? So according to this, it looks like it's it's about 550. So about 550 people according to this. It says here they have 550. So 545 to 550 as of early 2026. So even if we were to be generous and say 600, let's say 600 people, okay? 600 people at Digital Extremes, just to overestimate what Grok tells me, okay? That means there are 300 people on Soulframe, 300 people on Warframe, okay? Now, people are working on Marathon. Okay. No, you'd be surprised because so according to this, roughly 400 people are currently working on Marathon at Bungie. Over 400 people are working on Marathon. Okay? Why are 400 people working on Marathon? Why? You have 300 people working on Warframe, 300 people working on Soulframe, two bigger games, and you have over 400 people working on Marathon. Why? Because you have shitty people working for you. That's why I said, okay, you need someone to come into Bungie, scorched to earth, and every employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job. That happens sometimes. I know from I don't remember the exact details, but something for me happened in retail at a different area where they're like everyone has to reapply for their job. You're in a position right now at Bungie where you need to lay off half the people there. Okay? Let me be clear. I cannot emphasize this enough. The financial meeting is at the end of July. You understand that, right? Their next investment meeting is July 31st. How do you think Sony is going to take it if they have to take an impairment loss on Bungie? And the only way they're going to avoid an impairment loss on Bungie is if they get money or they cut people. And there's no money coming in. If every single person who bought Marathon buys the game, the season pass, that's $15 million. They don't have a yearly Destiny 2 expansion. That would bring them a minimum of 200 million. Minimum of $200 million. And you're not getting that money. $200 million minimum from Destiny 2. You're not getting that because you don't have the expansion. So what are you getting in the next June and July? We're at May, June, July. You have 3 months. 3 months. Where are you going to get money from? Where? The cosmetics in Marathon? Have you seen them? Have you seen how many there are? It's not enough. Okay? It's not enough. You think after this announcement, people are going to buy cosmetics in Destiny 2? You're going to get people buying them, yes, but not enough. You don't have the expansion from Destiny 2, so you're getting basically, if you'll be lucky, $50 million out of Destiny 2. And that's me being generous. Marathon, on the other hand, as I said, we know they sold 1.2 million copies. Let's be generous and up it to 1.5 million. Hell, even if we went to 2 million copies, okay, that's 20 million for the season pass. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. Okay, this is what I'm saying. All right, I'll say it again. This is what I would do if I were the CEO of Bungie. First off, I would be coming in. First thing I would do is I would have basically a meeting of all employees. And I would tell them we're in a mess. I would tell them we are financially screwed. And then I'm going to tell them, you want to work for Bungie? You're reapplying for your job. You want to work for Bungie right now? We're in a financial crisis. It is a luxury and a privilege to work for Bungie right now. You are reapplying for your job. And half of the people, and there's no guarantee you're getting your job. The best people at the company will stay. Because why the hell do you have 400 people working on Marathon? Clearly, you have people not carrying their weight. So you're going to go through every employee at Bungie, and you're going to do what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Okay? You're going to go through that company, and you're going to get rid of anyone who is excess weight. And then if you have to, you can go out there and hire new people. There are so many video game developers right now who have lost their jobs. You have the ability to fire half the people at Bungie and find better people who are more efficient. That's your goal. Your goal is to get the best because you cannot afford people who are not carrying their own weight. You need people who will come into Bungie with one thing in mind. I am here to work. Okay? You will come in every day. Okay? And you will leave. There will be no dilly-dallying, no play. You are there to work. You are there to do your job. That's it. None of this nonsense. No, I need to get no. You get one break. Okay? You're there to do your job, period. And that is why every person is reapplying for their job. Even if you end up firing more people than you need to, you hire new people who are better at the job. Because, again, why the hell do you have 400 people working on Marathon? Tell me, why? When you have 300 making Warframe. Okay? Okay? That's the first thing. You fix the staff. Second, as I said, you get rid of every single diversity club in that building. You do not go to work at Bungie to hang around with women at Bungie, or trans at Bungie, or black at Bungie. You have not a single one of those clubs. That is a waste of time and a waste of money. No diversity, inclusivity, BS clubs. Every one of them is gone. And if they leak it to Kotaku or Polygon, and Kotaku and Polygon complain, ignore them. Okay? Ignore them. They aren't facing a financial crisis like you are. Making Polygon, you at Bungie cannot afford to make Polygon happy. You can't keep your doors open. Who cares what Polygon says or Kotaku? Who gives a damn that Kotaku is complaining you got rid of black at Bungie? It could be made, that's why I'm saying, it could be made by 75. There are 4 maps in Marathon. 4. And how many classes? 6. How many classes in Warframe? How many different Warframes in Warframe? Over 60. And you have 300 people working on that game. And you tell me you need 400 people to work on Marathon? Clearly, people aren't carrying their weight. You can't even get your own artwork. You stole the artwork. That is why I'm telling you, you go through Bungie right now, you get rid of all of the excess weight. If you have to, you fire 90% of the people and you bring in new people who actually know their job and want to do a good job. Scorched earth. Okay? You get rid of every inclusivity club. Anybody, again, this is the thing you have to keep in mind at Bungie. Every day you walk in that door, you remind yourself you are lucky you're walking in that door right now. Because that company, okay, that company is on the verge of being shut down by Sony. So every day you walk in that door at Bungie, you are lucky it's still open for you. And you remind yourself that. Because they are dealing, that's the problem. Maybe I've watched too much Caleb Hammer. But you are dealing with a financial crisis. And you are dilly-dallying and playing games and doing what you want. And you cannot afford to do what you want right now. You have to do what your audience wants. Not what you want, what will sell. That's all you have. Or you will not have a company. You think Sony will keep the Bungie name? I have no doubt about that. They're not going to completely shut Bungie down because the name Bungie carries a legacy. But do you really think that Sony's going to continue to allow loss after loss after loss? You act every day at Bungie like this is your last because you have to. They cannot afford to play around and dilly-dally and so-and-so's my friend, but they're not carrying their weight. No. And as I said, you get rid of every single club at that company. Yeah, just like the retail business, just like any business. Bungie is a business. Okay? You make what your customer wants. What do people want in Warframe? Oh, they want sexy, hot skins for their Warframes. Like the heirloom Ember skin that everyone loved. Remember that one? Yeah, that one probably sold ridiculous amounts. You give your players what they want. And right now, preaching your agenda, your message, your own personal fan fiction does not belong at Bungie right now. You don't have that luxury. That's why, as I said, anybody who complains, just fire them. You don't have the luxury of that. Someone comes to you and says, I want my women at Bungie, and they say that they feel like they're being harassed because they don't have women at Bungie. Okay, there's the door, honey. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. Period. Anyone who complains, oh, I need my 2-hour break. Oh, I need to go. I need whatever. Okay? Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. We don't have time for this. They are not taking this seriously. No one is taking this seriously. Where's the money going to come from? Sony spent $3.7 billion, and you are so arrogant and full of yourselves that you think that you could just keep gliding along doing nothing. And I'm tired of this whole attitude that we make what we want to make. No, you make what your customer wants. This whole attitude, it pisses me off. You look at Destiny 2 and you go, oh, we want to add feminism and girl power. Your audience, I'm not sorry. Your audience, you want to know who plays Destiny? You want to know who plays Destiny? Straight men play Destiny. Over 90% of your player base are men. Okay? Over 90% of the people who play Destiny are men. You're making a primarily male fantasy game. You don't like it? There's the door. Oh no, Pete Parson didn't care about Bungie. Okay? Pete Parson did not care about Bungie. If you care about Bungie, you have to go in there scorched earth. Okay? You have to go in scorched earth and focus on the fact that you do not have luxuries right now. You do not have the money to have luxuries right now. The luxury of my ethics, my fees, my diversity, my female co-workers. You don't have that luxury. You're going to shut the doors. Someone needs to go in there and just go scorched earth. I understand. Is it fun to fire people? No, I've never done it myself. But if the choice is between firing people who aren't carrying their weight at Bungie or shutting the doors of Bungie for good, what do you think is the better option? Seriously, what do you think is the better option? You have somebody complaining about, I want my trans at Bungie, I want my black at Bungie. There's the door, Habibi. We don't have time. And let me be clear, if I thought Marathon was the bigger money maker, I would have said it. I can be bluntly, brutally, cruelly, unemotionally honest to the point where it freaks people out, okay? At one point, I had people getting mad at me because I was talking about people who died from COVID, and I was just bluntly honest on the statistics. And they're like, don't you? It's like, no. Sometimes you have to be bluntly honest. If marathon was the better option for Bungie, I would have said it. I don't like marathon at all. I really don't like marathon. But if there was a chance that that would make more money for Bungie, I would have said it. But I don't see marathon making money for Bungie. Not enough money to keep the studio going. So you're either going to downsize that studio to a ridiculous level and eventually shut down marathon, or you have to focus on Destiny, whether you like it or not. If you don't want to work on Destiny anymore, if you're bored or tired of Destiny, again, there's the door. This whole excuse that, oh my God, they've been working on Destiny for 12 years, they're bored. Digital Extremes has been working on Warframe for longer. Okay? And they're not bored. It's not even going to come out until like season 5. That's the other problem. It's not next season. There is no PvE only mode. And what is it going to be in an extraction shooter? It's not going to be like Destiny. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to turn Marathon into Destiny. Destiny had story campaigns and open worlds. You're not going to have that in Marathon. You have 4 maps in Marathon. You're not going to have a real PvE experience in Marathon. It's probably going to be basically like bots or something, or like it's not going to, it's on top of that, it's not going to sustain Bungie. That's the other problem. It's not going to sustain it. It's not soon enough. Your PvE mode isn't going to be here for for months. You have a investors meeting in August. August. You have, what is it? It's the middle of May. You have 2.5 months to start showing Sony that you are turning things around. You cut. It doesn't. You come into the office and you start talking politics, you're fired. We don't need that here. You come to the office for one reason and one reason only. You're here to work. We don't have time. Some companies, yeah, they have enough money where they can relax the setting. I'm going to keep saying this. Every day that Bungie opens its doors, you are lucky. Every day you walk into those doors at Bungie, you go, thank God I still have a job here. Every day, because that company is going to shut down if you're not careful. They do, you answer to Sony. And how many studios has Sony shut down for far less? You really think Sony isn't going to do it? It doesn't matter. I mean, that's what happens when I go to work. Oh, I joke about how I'm going to do this or that. Okay? I joke about a ton of things. But you go to work, I have to, every time I clock in, I have to fill out a No, you didn't see it in Destiny 1. You want to know why? Because the people who worked at Destiny 1 were 90% guys who wanted to make a fun video game. It wasn't until, I'll tell you when it started. It started around Season of the Splicer and Lightfall, when they started bringing in women and activists and started focusing on that nonsense. Okay? Honestly, do not buy Destiny 2 unless it's a ridiculously low discount. Get it discounted. Give me one sec. I need... Okay. It's the liberal women. It is the liberal women who came into Bungie and started doing it. And Bungie wanted to hire more women. And you can see it. Look. You can see that Bungie started going down the feminism track. You see it. The mood and the feel and the atmosphere of the game starts taking on a more feminine, feminist author writing mood. You can tell. On top of that, you can notice that a lot of the men started losing interest in the story. I mean, one person was talking about on X that they had pitched an idea at Bungie about Xivu Arath instead of Edge of Fate. And everyone's like, why the hell didn't we get that? Why didn't we get that and we got this stupid romance between what's her name and what's her name? Okay? Nobody wants that. Who wrote Edge of Fate? Some woman whose specialty is tragic love stories because you want to hire more women. And the funny thing is, this is the thing, right? These liberal women act like they're all about diversity. You are the most boring people on the planet. Alyssa Mercante acts like she's some kind of diverse special snowflake. She's a bi-liberal white woman. She is a dime a dozen. She is not diversity at all. She wouldn't know diversity. Okay? She wouldn't know diversity if it smacked her in the face. Okay? I'm tired of these. It's all the same. It's either bi or non-binary white liberal women. And they act like they're special and they're marginalized. Like Alyssa Mercante. She acts like she's some kind of marginalized special snowflake. You're not, honey. You're a dime a dozen. There are far too many people like you. There is no diversity in being a bi or non-binary liberal white woman. You are cockroaches at this point. You are a plague. You don't understand diversity if it smacks you in the head. Okay, yeah, Drifter and Erismorn, that was a surprise. But they focus, like, the way I put it this way, okay? You ask 10 men, what would you choose, Titanic or John Wick? And 9 out of 10 men will choose John Wick. I'm not denying one will choose Titanic. There's always the exception, because I happen to be the woman exception. You ask 10 women, John Wick or Titanic, 9 out of 10 women will choose Titanic. And you can feel it in Destiny 2. When you play Destiny 2, you can feel it. The mood and the feel between Destiny 1 and the later Destiny 2. Early Destiny 2 was very much like Destiny 1 in storytelling. Very much. One of the reasons I loved Destiny 1 so much was I would go to work and I would come home exhausted and I was going through difficult stuff at the time. But you know what I would do? I would log into Destiny and I would escape into the world of Destiny where I was a hero, where I was the guardian in the last safe city on Earth and I was saving people and willing to risk myself. But like I said, the majority... But that's the thing. I'm telling you, you can feel it. The mood of Destiny 1 is very different than the mood of Destiny 2. Later Destiny 2. Early Destiny 2, the Red War, is very different than Edge of Fate. Okay? That's why I'm saying, that's why one of my other requirements to work at Bungie was you have to play Destiny 1. You want to work, I don't understand this. If I were to apply for a job as a video games developer, do you not think even before I got an interview, I would play their games? I would go online and look into their games so I can understand their games. You want me to believe that you're applying for a job at Bungie and you never played a Bungie game? You never played Destiny? And you're applying to write or develop or work on Destiny? And you never played Destiny 1? The first thing you would do is play Destiny so you can go in there and talk to them about the game and prove that you should be there. But you're so eager to hire women for the sake of hiring women, you don't care if they play video games. And I'm sorry. You have to play video games if you work at a video game studio. You do. I know some people don't agree with me on this, but absolutely not. Right now, we are in a state where there's so many people available, and there's like 100 people for every job at a video game studio. You have the you have the luxury of being able to say, we want people who play Destiny working for Bungie. You want to work at Bungie? Play Destiny. There's so many people applying for jobs to work in video games that's a way to cut down some of them. So no, as I said, first off, like I said, you go scorched earth. Now, what are the next steps you take? You cut down the number of people working on Marathon. I'm not saying you end support for Marathon. You continue to support Marathon, but you don't need 400 people working on Marathon. No PvE mode for Marathon. You don't need it. Marathon is going to stay an extraction shooter. Why? Because your PvE is going to come in from Destiny. Because you're going to your next step, okay? You're going to retract everything you said about Destiny 2. You're going to have the director of Destiny 2 come out and basically make a video begging apology. The director of, I don't care if it makes you look bad. I don't care about your fee-fees. I don't care about any of that. You're the director of Destiny 2. You come out and you go, we're sorry. We underestimated how important Destiny 2 was to you. We realized our mistake. We are reversing that decision. We won't have any content for Destiny 2 for this year, but we are going to continue supporting Destiny 2 until we release Destiny 3. You apologize and you tell them, you start listening to what the players said, because you have to regain the trust of the Destiny 2 community. You have none. So you have to start doing that right now. And you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices right now. You're going to have a lot of mistakes. And you're going to come out there and you're going to embarrass yourself. And you're going to feel horrible. And you're going to take a lot of abuse, but you deserve it. You need to come out there because you have no trust. Bungie has no trust from their players. And you earned that lack of trust. So you're going to have to regain that trust. And that means going out there over and over and making video after video after video saying, we were wrong, we're going to fix this over and over, and you're going to prove it, and you're going to follow through over and over. You release the Triumph thing in June, it better have 0 bugs in it. You want to regain the trust of the Destiny 2 community? Everyone, every single person right now is saying they bet you that the Age of Triumph in June is going to be broken. You want to start on that first step towards regaining trust? Okay? You make sure there is not a single bug in that. Not a single one. And you put in it unexpected stuff. You announce what you're bringing in it, but you add more. You put as much as possible. And like I said, you come out there and you tell them. You come out there, you say, we are sorry. We did not realize how important Destiny 2 was to you. We made a mistake. And get used to that, because you're going to come out over and over and over and say, we made a mistake. We are fixing this. We understand you didn't like the portal. We made a mistake. We underestimated it. We were wrong. We're going to fix it. Over and over, because you lost so much trust from the Destiny community right now that you're going to have to be basically groveling for the next year minimum. You are going to have to follow through over and over to the Destiny 2 community. No more broken game, no more bugs, no more crashes. You have to prove to your player base that you look flat out. It's not fun. It is exactly like what's his name? Jeremy Hambley should have done the moment he made that mistake. Sometimes you have to come out there and apologize and admit you did something wrong, because that's how you earn people's respect. I've admitted it at times when I've said I was wrong on something. I will say I'm wrong. So you want to regain the player base of Bungie? You want to regain your Destiny 2 player base? You're going to have to start groveling. And you may not like it. And it's not going to be fun. But what is better? You lose your entire studio? Because that's what's going to happen. There's going to be no Bungie left if you don't start doing this. You have no trust. Your players don't trust you. Your trust is in the garbage. And you have to start at the bottom. And you think that announcing Marathon over Destiny 2 is going to somehow fix that? You think you idiots. There are Destiny 2 people playing Marathon. You want to know something? I wasn't surprised to see that the Marathon player count had dropped from yesterday. What is the marathon player count right now? Because I bet you a lot of those Destiny 2 players that played marathon are gone. 9,901. They have 10,000 people. The thing is, Ken, I'm talking about it's not about moving on from Destiny 2. The problem is you need to look at Bungie. Okay? If Bungie wants to survive, look, if Bungie wants to end and shut down, okay? If you want Bungie to shut down, fine. But if you don't want Bungie to shut down, which if I were the CEO of Bungie, I would not want Bungie to shut down, okay? You have to look at this logically. Whether you like it or not, you have to look at it logically. You have to look at it like a corpus, all right? What is Bungie's moneymaker? Destiny. How do they make money? It's like Digital Extremes. What is their cash cow? It isn't Soulframe. It's Warframe. And they will sacrifice to keep Warframe going. They did that. That's why I have respect for Digital Extremes. Even though they blocked me on X, I have respect for Digital Extremes. Okay? Why? Because they tried publishing. Digital Extremes tried to be a publisher. They published Wayfinder. And they realized Wayfinder was harming Warframe. So what did they do? They cut Wayfinder. Because their priority is Warframe. It doesn't matter. I bet you if anybody at Digital Extremes says, I'm tired of working on Warframe, their response would be, there's the door. They make their money with Warframe. And they have to answer to Tencent. Whether they like it or not, Tencent owns Warframe. And if Tencent isn't happy, they're screwed. So they have to keep it. So the same thing with Bungie. I'm going to keep saying this, okay? If I felt Marathon was the option that would make them money, I would be telling you right now, drop Destiny 2. But we know look at it. There's no way Marathon is going to sustain Bungie. It can't. Okay? Marathon sold 1.2 million copies. Let's even be generous, okay? Let's say they've sold 2 million copies at this point. Very unlikely. Probably closer to 1.5, all right? But let's be generous and say they've sold 2 million copies, okay? Okay. Right, so let me do the math. All right, let me do the math. Okay. Okay. If Marathon sold 2 million copies, how much money did Bungie make? Okay. So if Bungie So they said 1.2 million was 55 million. So let's say $80 million, okay? Okay. They have an investor meeting at the end of July. Do you not think if they don't bring in money between now and the end of July, there's going to be another impairment loss? If not an impairment loss, at the bare minimum, they're going to have to admit that Bungie isn't meeting expectations. Because think about it. 2 million copies of Marathon. The season pass for Marathon is $10. That's $20 million. Okay? The cosmetics store is tiny compared to Destiny 2. Okay? Every year, Destiny 2 releases an expansion that costs $100. If you want the whole thing, it's $100. All right? How many copies of Edge of Fate? Let's see. How many copies of Year of Prophecy sold? Okay. So it doesn't tell me. Okay. So it says that their player base was about 50% for a Year of Prophecy from Final Shape. 1.9 million was Final Shape. So you know what? Let's be generous. They sold 1 million copies of Year of Prophecy. Year of Prophecy brought in $100 million. That's just for Year of Prophecy. What about the cosmetics? How much money do you think they made on the cosmetics? Destiny 2 has the better potential for profit. Even right now, if you reverse the decision, do you think more people will buy cosmetics because they said they're going to discontinue Destiny 2, or they're going to continue it? They're not going to sell as many cosmetics because of this stupid decision. They're not going to get enough money. That's the thing. That's what I keep saying. As much as Marathon will not bring the money. In the long term, this game, even if you're not focusing on August, long term, Marathon will never bring in the same amount of money as Destiny 2. The fact that Destiny 2 has more people playing it right now with a content drought than Marathon should tell you plenty. So put aside your feelings about Destiny 2. The fact that it should end or any of that. We're talking about saving Bungie as a company, okay? You want to save Bungie, all right? Right now, I know people, okay, like Hypnotic, heel versus babyface. Numerous people are all talking about Bungie right now, and every single one of them is saying, I stopped playing Destiny 2 at Lightfall. I stopped playing Destiny 2 years ago. Every single one of them said the same thing. If they announced Destiny 3, I would be interested. If they announced Destiny 3, a lot of people would come back, especially if they impress and do a very good job of it, which is why I said you need to start rehiring. You basically have everybody at Bungie apply for their job again, because you're going to basically remake that studio from the ground up. Period. You have to remake this studio from the ground up. You cannot afford to have people who are not carrying their weight at Bungie. You want to make a game like Destiny 2? Or Destiny 3, you can't have people who are there because of diversity reasons. It is a lot of work to maintain Destiny 2. You do not have that luxury. Right now, you really don't have that luxury. Which is why I'm going to tell you, as I said, my first move, if I were made CEO of Bungie, is to go in, and the first thing I would do is stand up in front of every employee and say, we are facing a financial crisis. I'm going to be flat out honest. I'm going to tell every employee, the first thing I'm going to do, if I were made CEO of Bungie right now, stand in front of them, have a full company meeting through digital means or whatever. Everyone has to attend. And the first thing I'm going to say is, we're facing a financial crisis. We need to start laying people off. We cannot afford to keep the doors open. Every single person is reapplying for your job. You're going to prove to me you deserve to work here. Because again, why the hell are 400 people working on Marathon? Why? You shouldn't have 400. There are more people working on Marathon than Warframe. Why? That tells me that you have a lot of people who are not carrying their weight. Okay? Next, you go back, like I said, you are going to start groveling and apologizing and following through promises to the players. You're going to go to those Destiny 2 players and you're going to be like, we have made mistakes and we are sorry. And we're going to try to make it better. And I know you have no reason to believe us right now. The first thing we're going to do is, as I said, you're going to go out there. You're not going to make a Twitter announcement. You're not going to go on Twitter and post this. This is going to be an announcement. This is the CEO of Bungie. Not some random community manager. No, the person in charge of Bungie is going to go in front of a camera. And they're going to say, I'm sorry. They're going to say, I was wrong. We underestimated how important Destiny 2 is to you. We are not going to sunset Destiny 2 right now. We were wrong. We heard you. We hear you right now. We were wrong. This was a big mistake. We are sorry. You're going to apologize for this decision. And then you're going to say, yes. Okay? Then you're going to say, yes, we don't have content right now for Destiny 2 because we were planning on shutting the game down. We were wrong. And then, when the Age of Triumph comes out in June, there is not a single bug. Period. Every single person right now is saying, you want to know what they're saying? There's going to be bugs in the Triumph, the Age of Triumph. That they're not going to be able to work. It's not going to work. Prove them wrong. You want to start earning the trust of Destiny 2 players? Prove them wrong. Show them Age of Triumph on June 9th is going to work. That you're going to be able to log on and everything is going to be fine. You do that, that's the first step. Enough of this. Every expansion is a broken, buggy mess. It cannot be. You cannot afford this. You have the trust of everyone is in the gutter. Next, you're going to go to Sony. And you're going to tell them we made mistakes. And we're going to make it, we're going to prove we can be an investment for you. You don't have time right now. You're going to continue to support Destiny 2. You're going to keep working on Destiny 2. And you're going to bring in better people to work on Destiny 2. And you're going to port Destiny to PC. I already did the research. It'll cost $20 million. Maximum $20 million and between a year and 2 years to port it. You have 18 months and $20 million. You go to Sony and say, we need $20 million, and you're going to put it on a different studio. Bungie isn't going to port Destiny to PC. Bungie can't. Someone else is going to get a couple of Bungie people can help, but Destiny 2 wasn't ported to PC by Bungie. So you're going to port Destiny to PC. Because you need something to keep you going. You need to keep Destiny 2 going, and you will port it. Because you need money. Do I think porting Destiny to PC is the greatest option? Do I think it's going to be massive? No, but you need money coming in. And Destiny on PC is a year and a half. 18 months. That is much closer than Destiny 3 is. A lot of people play Destiny 2 on PC, never played Destiny 1. A lot of people would be willing to go back to Destiny. I've seen numerous people saying they're willing to go back to Destiny for 60 frames per second and PC. You need money. And you're going to have to grovel and do whatever you can to get that money coming into your studio. And you have to do whatever you can. And when Destiny launches on PC, it's no more than $60 for the entire thing. No, $60 for the base game. No, $60 for the Legendary Collection on PC. And it works. From day one, it works. No bugs, no glitches. It has to work. Period. As I said, they are falling apart. I feel like I'm dealing with people who don't understand the value of, don't get me wrong, financially, I'm not great either. But if I have a credit card debt, okay, I don't go out and spend money on luxury items if I have a credit card debt. And that's what they're doing. They don't have the money. So that's then you start adding content to Destiny 2 while you work on Destiny 3. And again, you are going to, while you're working on Destiny 3, go through everything that has happened through Destiny 2 and Destiny 1. You're going to bring back some of the old people. As you said, you're going to bring back some of the old people that you got rid of that actually knew what they were doing. I mean, the thing is, would I rather another studio at this point make Destiny 3? Yes, I actually 100% totally am with you on that. I would rather another studio make Destiny 3. However, what I'm talking about is how to save Bungie, okay? Because having another studio make Destiny 3 isn't going to save Bungie. Bungie will not survive with Marathon. Or it will not survive the way it is. It's going to shrink, and there's going to be barely anything left. So, do I agree with you? Yeah, I think Destiny the IP should go to someone else. Right, Mimi? Who's your baby Mimi? Who's your baby Mimi? Yeah. She slurps when she licks her fur. It's ridiculously funny. You slurp. She slurps. I agree. The thing is, in this case, I'm talking how to save Bungie. Okay? So while I would rather, my only frustration with Destiny Rising is it's a mobile game and a gacha game. I want a real Destiny game. But would I love it if NetEase was given the opportunity to make a full Destiny game? Absolutely. Would I love it if some other studio, something like the developers of a studio that genuinely cares about Destiny and worked really hard to make Destiny 3? 100%. But I'm saying, this is me saying, how do we save Bungie right now? I'm going to continue making Destiny 1 content first and foremost. Some people don't understand, but the majority of the people who post comments in my videos, every week I make Xur. You can look at the comments for my video, all right? Let me bring it up. You can look at the comments to my video for Xur, okay? Okay. Right. Thank you for so much for keeping this game alive. Really sad timing, but I'm glad people like you are dedicated enough to keep us updated. Thank you. Appreciate your effort for a probably small viewer base. You're seriously a beast for doing this every week. Thank you. With Destiny down, you were the first person I thought of. Over and over and over and over, I get people saying, thank you for making these. As long as Destiny 1 is available, and there are people who want it, I will make a Xur video every week I can for Destiny 1. My YouTube channel started with that, because everybody demanded Destiny 1 for Destiny 2. As for Destiny 2, I might at this point, because if all the Destiny 2 people are going to drop Destiny 2, I might as well do it like I did with Destiny, okay? I don't get any money out of this. Or no, I get like $20 a month maximum if I'm lucky out of doing this, okay? I don't do it for the money, okay? I do it because I actually genuinely love Destiny. And I want to help new people. So in my last video, 2 people are like, why are you taking 20 minutes to explain where Xur is? Well, first of all, it's in the first 2 minutes, the location of Xur. Afterwards, I try to give as much knowledge as possible about what Xur is carrying, because I know there are new people coming to Destiny, and I want to help. Okay? Destiny, I love the game. The game got me through some really... So I just do it because I care for the game, and I want to help other people get into the game. I think Destiny is a great game. As I said, it got me through some really difficult times. It made me feel like a hero. It was an escape into a world I love. And if I can help other people, it takes me 45 minutes in the morning before work. The only time I have trouble is during the holidays, because I work in retail, and sometimes I have to be at work at 5 a.m. and Xur drops at 5. So, thank you. So, I'll keep doing it. I might look into Destiny 2 content. I've been trying to start doing weekly reset and some other stuff for Destiny. But as long as the game is available, I'm going to make the content for people. And I appreciate it whenever somebody thanks me, because it knows that there's somebody who's benefiting from it. But... as you said, if you care about... I 100% agree with you. I wish another studio were to do it. But on the other hand, I don't want Bungie to shut down. You know, I never forgot that time they won a game award, right? And I think it was Luke Smith. And they looked just so excited to win that game award. It was like best live service or something, or best community support. I don't know, why did they get rid of Luke Smith? You know, honestly, like I said, if I wanted to fix Bungie, I would bring back some of the old people. I would go to Marty O'Donnell and apologize to Marty and tell him that I am sorry. Even if, like I said, if I were made CEO of Bungie, right, and I have nothing to apologize for, I would still apologize. I would be now that I am the representative of Bungie, and I'm going to apologize to the community. On top of that, you know what else I would do? Because this pisses me off. We're going to have an online policy, a social media policy, okay? You can't put the company name in your bio. Once you put the company name in your bio, you represent the company. And your personal account is no longer personal. It belongs to the company. That's it. DMG posts official Destiny 2 news from his personal account, and it says Bungie in it. The only reason people follow him is because he's an employee at Bungie. All right? Oh, he has me blocked. I was going to make a video about that because numerous people brought me up. He has me blocked. I haven't spoken to the guy in 4 years. The last thing I said to him, I thought I hadn't spoken to him at all because I barely know the guy. Okay? You need a social media policy. And the policy is simple. Because how many games have suffered because some employee and a developer said something stupid? You put your employer's name in your bio, you represent your employer. Yeah, he has me blocked. He has Smash JT blocked. He has a whole bunch of people blocked. The last time I spoke to the guy was 4 years ago. And it was because, and I was saying that I prefer Destiny 1 over Destiny 2. That I didn't curse him or threaten him or insult Destiny 2. I just said 4 years ago, I said I prefer Destiny 1 over Destiny 2, and I felt Destiny 2 was empty compared to Destiny 1. Which probably wasn't true, but that's how I felt. Okay? He has a block list. He's blocking people on a list. And yet you have official information coming out of your personal account. That's why I said you need a social media policy. A lot of companies have them, but they're not big media people. Okay? My company has it. I can't put my employer in my bio without representing him. So that's my view on it. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should. Apparently, Smash JT, the reason, so, all right. Smash JT brought it up, okay? So I was watching Smash JT, and Smash JT's like, I haven't even spoken with this guy. I don't know who he is, okay? And he's like, where is it? I think I downloaded it. Downloads. Where's the, let me do it by date modified. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't spoken to the guy. Look. Look. I used to work during the holidays all night. Okay? We don't do that anymore at my job, but at one point I used to work night shifts, okay? During the holidays all night. And you want to know what I would listen to? I would have my, I don't know, right over here. I'd have my Sony headphones, okay? These are the Sony MX3s or whatever the hell. They're like years old, right? I would wear my Sony headphones and I would listen to the Destiny music. Hours of Destiny music, okay? As I said, I loved to escape into the world of Destiny. I loved the world of Destiny. It got me through. Everyone is saying that, Bruce. Everyone is saying that. It's been nice seeing you. Oh, hope to see you. But no, everyone is saying that. They should have started Destiny 3. They should have known the final shape was coming and started working on Destiny 3. 100%. That's why I'm saying right now we're scrambling. Like I said, I'm trying to come up with ways to maintain the company long enough and make them look good in the eyes of Sony long enough to get Destiny 3 out. Okay? And that's why I'm saying you're going to have to bring back some of the old writers, some of the people who actually were successful. And you're going to have to fire a lot of people. And I see Clownfish TV, Neon talking about it's not fun firing people. but you have a company failing. Okay? I'm more attached to Destiny 1 because Destiny 1 feels different. Destiny 1, when you play Destiny 1, you feel like a hero, right? Destiny 2 is the same at the beginning. No, same. Well, really, look. The Destiny Content Vault, look. I can tell you that the mood and the writing of Destiny is not the same. Because when I played Destiny, and early Destiny 2, I felt like a hero. That you were the guardian, the whole motto of be legend. It felt amazing. No matter what you were facing, you felt awesome. You were a hero. You were the hero of the last safe city. You were the guardian, right? You were facing insurmountable odds, but you knew you could take it on. Once they started throwing in like I said, it feels like women are writing it. And it is true. Women are writing it. You can tell women are writing it. Women write, not all women. Again, there are exceptions. Look at Amy Hennig, who worked on Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake went downhill in quality and Naughty Dog when they got rid of Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig is a woman. She's a better writer and a better creator for Nathan Drake than Neil Druckmann. And Neil Druckmann is a man. That's why I'm saying there are exceptions. That is important. I am not going to deny there are exceptions. There are women who do this well. But it's not a lot. The majority of your studio should be men. Because you're making a game for men. And that's one of the other problems we're dealing with in the gaming industry. Right? These people live, it's happening in all of media. They live in this world where they don't know who their audience is. You make Star Wars and you think that women are suddenly going to jump into Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but I'm again one of those exceptions. The only Geeky Sparkles was correct. The only time Star Wars brought in women was Baby Yoda because he's cute. I found him very annoying, personally. But you don't understand. This is the problem. I had somebody arguing with me about Warframe and saying that the primary audience for Warframe is LGBTQ. No, it's not. The primary audience for Warframe is not LGBTQ. This person was like, everybody I know who plays Warframe is LGBTQ. No. The majority of the audience for Warframe are men. They're not on X. You want to know how I know? Because the majority of the content creators for Warframe are guys talking about their builds. They're not talking about their slash fanfic nonsense. That's on X. It's the same thing with Destiny. The majority of the player base at Destiny are men with a small number of women. And you come in here and you think, do you really think that if you add romance to a first-person shooter, women are going to play first-person shooters? No, they're not. No matter what kind of story you put in a first-person shooter, most women don't like first-person shooters. You need to accept who your audience is, who plays Destiny. The majority, gay men play it, but the majority of Destiny players are straight men. This is why Digital Extremes has sexy skins in Warframe. Why? Because their audience isn't LGBTQ. Their audience is straight men who like to look at sexy Ember's butt. Whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Facts are facts. Facts don't care about your feelings. You want to know something? I looked into it. Because there's a app or something, or I don't remember where it was, that tells you how many people bought an emblem in Destiny 2. You want to know how many people bought the Pride emblems in Destiny 2? About 3,000. It was about 3,000. I looked it up last year. So even if, let's be generous and say 10,000, that is a fraction of your population bought those emblems. Okay? This person was like, so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, the person was like, everybody I know who plays Warframe is LGBTQ. Well, that's like me saying everybody I know is Muslim, so most of New Jersey is Muslim. No! You just happen to know that. But I can tell you for a fact, the majority of Warframe players aren't on X talking about their ships and their slash and their romantic pairings between Warframes. Most of them don't care. They talk about their builds because I watch their videos. Okay? It's the same thing with Destiny. I played with a ton for a while. I played with a lot of guys. Okay? Most of them, hell, let me put it this way, okay? Edge of Fate. I watched a bajillion reviews of Edge of Fate, okay? Most of them positive, some of them positive, some of them negative. But I watched a lot of them. Even the people who loved Edge of Fate had the exact same complaint. Every single review of Edge of Fate had the same complaint. They hated Maya Sundaresh. Every single one. But it isn't even just the culture around it. Men like first-person shooters. That's just how men are. They like first-person shooters. Most women don't like first-person. Most women go on YouTube. Most women gamers, either they're playing first-person shooters because they want to appeal to men, right? They don't really care for them. The handful of women who play them are like, with their chests out, and they're like, look at me being all sexy and playing it just to appeal to guys and to get guys to simp for them. And the moment they turn off their PC, they're not playing a first-person shooter. Or they're playing cozy games like Animal Crossing. Okay? You want to know how you know I'm not one of those people? Because the majority of the time I play first-person shooters, I'm not playing it while I'm in front of a bunch of people. I play it by myself. Hell no. You think I like playing first-person shooters? I'd rather play... It's hard to play a first-person shooter and talk for me. So I play most of my gaming by myself, okay? Yeah, they hated her because she's a terrible villain. But their argument would be she's gay because we want to appeal to the LGBT audience. But that's not your audience. Your audience are men. Straight men. She's a horrible character. She's a horrible villain. Why did they put her in? Oh, because we want to appeal to representation. Okay? When it comes down to it, okay? Every time they do the argument, 50% of gamers are women. Look at the actual breakdown of the statistics, okay? Look at the actual breakdown. Over 90% of the people who play first-person shooters are men, and the majority of men are straight men. Whether you like it or not, those stereotypes exist for a reason, okay? I'm going to keep saying the majority of first-person shooters are played by men, inserting female characters, inserting romance, inserting emotional mumbo-jumbo that women like. You're not going to get more women into play first-person shooter because they don't want to play first-person shooters. You already have to deal with the hurdle of a first-person shooter. That's like saying, well, we want to add more vegetarians to our restaurant, but people don't like Thai food. So even if you add a vegetarian menu to your Thai restaurant and your audience doesn't like Thai food, they're not going to buy it. It's the same thing. Adding things that you think will appeal to women, you have to deal with this hurdle of most women don't play first-person shooters. Yes, they include Monopoly Go. Look. I looked it up a while back. I mean, they did a thing recently where they found out like 80% of owners of the Nintendo Switch, the most female-friendly console, the Nintendo Switch, over 80% of owners of the Switch were men. Okay? Let me see if I can find it. Didn't Capcom or Konami also do a recent one where they found the majority of their players are guys? Let's see if I can find it. Popular with female players. Puzzles. Up to 60% of the audience of puzzle games are female. Okay? Shooters, first person and tactical. Heavily male dominated, with some subgenres seeing female player representation of only 2 to 7%. And sports. And action and racing. Role-playing games are generally a 50-50. But, again, shooters are 2 to 7% female. That means over 90% of your audience and destiny is male. Whether you like it or not. Stereotypes or not. I don't care. Statistically, we know for a fact Grok? Honestly, I use a lot of ChatGPT and Grok. I alternate between the two. ChatGPT, so Grok was a joke. The only reason I used ChatGPT because Grok wasn't working at one point, and I started my whole Corpus Warframe Star Trek crossover there, and now I have so much. Okay. Honestly, it's just convenient. At this point, it's just convenient because I have X on my phone. I should try out other ones. But no, people want good content, but you also need to know who your audience is. And that's the other thing. You don't go to Egypt and, like, I had somebody telling me 50% of the player base or something, and I'm like, you don't go to Egypt and sell pork. Because 95% of the population of Egypt is Muslim, they're not going to eat it. You could make the most delicious pork sandwiches and have the best, pork in the industry. But if you go to Egypt and try to sell it, nobody's going to buy it. You can be like, oh, well, we have introduced a new recipe of pork that's going to appeal to people. It's considered spectacular. And you go to Egypt, no one's going to buy it. That's the same thing with first-person shooters. Women don't play first-person shooters. Whatever you do, no matter how good your game is, no matter how many female characters you have, no matter how many strong women who need no man, you're facing the same obstacle. Women don't play first-person shooters. You're not going to change their mind. Okay? That's it. Instead, you're going to lose your male audience, and that's what's happening. And as I said, I'm of the facts don't care about your feelings. When it comes to the market and selling, okay? You sell to your audience. You have to please your customer. Whether you like it or not. I happen to like Android phones, okay? If I worked in a store that sold iPhones, okay, and Android, I cannot be like, well, I think Android is the best, and anytime somebody tells me they want an iPhone, no, you shouldn't buy an iPhone. You have to know who your audience is. And that's the other big problem. We have it in Star Wars. We have it in Doctor Who. Over and over and over. Everyone is in denial about who their audience is. That's why, for example, whenever I watch, like, Hypnotic or something, and he's like, all right, boys, I don't get in. I know. Yeah, well, Anita Sarkeesian is an idiot. Flat out, I absolutely hate that woman. She's the person who complained that Destiny 1, the men sit differently than the women. Woman, no, you don't speak for women. Everybody hates her. Everybody hates her. Her, Alyssa Mercante, all these women who come in and they start, okay, and talk about, first of all, since when are women marginalized? For the love of God. This whole idea, we need more female representation. Oh, come on. Really? Really? You have plenty. This whole idea, you act like women are these victims all the time. No, they're not. We need more female representation. There are plenty of female characters. Okay? Shut up. The thing that pissed me off the most was people going, there weren't any strong female characters in Destiny. Really? There were no strong female characters in Destiny. Oh, you mean like Yolder? Eris Morn? Marisol? Ikora Ray? And they were much better in Destiny 1 than Destiny 2. Petra Venge? The female characters were better in Destiny 1, but then you have all these women writers coming into Bungie and going, we need strong female representation. You ruined every female character in Destiny 2. Flat out, you ruined every character in Destiny 2. I prefer Marisol in Destiny 1. I prefer Petra Venge in Destiny 1. Ikora Ray, and the beginning of Destiny 2, when she did that Void Blast, that was badass. This whole thing. Mine was Cade, of course. As a hunter, is Cade. Okay? Cade. 100%. But this whole idea that you act like we need more female representation, just make a good video game. Okay? You don't think... I mean, the funny thing is, right? The funny thing is, some of the most popular games with guys, right? Damn it. I think I dropped my video game stack into my cat's water bowl. Yeah, I just dropped my video game into the water bowl. Yeah. At least the game are wet on the outside. Oh, stop whining, May. No, there is not a lack of female representation. There's a bunch of whiny, complaining women who just want to complain for the sake. They want to feel special. I'm sorry, adding a female character to your video game doesn't make it more diverse or inclusive or any of that BS. And like I said, I would rather have a good video game with an all-male audience, player base, than a garbage game that's diverse. I don't care. You don't. That's it. I would rather have a very good game. Okay. With an all male audience cast, if it's a good game. That's it. Nobody cares. I mean, yeah, Samus Aran from the 80s. No, because they act like they're special, and they're not. And then they act like men don't want female characters in video games. Really? Come on. You know what? And then, or they act like women don't want attractive women in video games. Really? Again, you people... Women, and women don't even care. I know, I agree. Most women don't. When you watch, most of the time, when I see a woman talking about a video game, it's rare when I see them talking about games I like. Okay? Usually it's Animal Crossing and cozy games and Disney, whatever the hell that game is called. I keep getting, every now and then, I don't know why I'll get some stupid video about cozy games. But the thing is, it's not even like men don't want female characters in video games. It's just you act like it's something special or new and it's not. Okay? Damn it. No, it's just a bunch of people who want to feel special and like they've accomplished something. And I don't know. It's all dumb. It's all stupid. It's all like just a bunch of people who want to complain and want attention. And it's like, no, you... By the way, I tried to play Chronos and New Dawn. That game is cool, but boring, slow. I know it's supposed to be like a horror game, but it was slow, so I'm going to try Hellas Us. Mimi Moomy. Mimi Moomy. Mimi Moomy. No, I mean, at the end of the day, seriously, okay? I want good games, okay? I don't care what the character, like, I don't... Diversity is this DEI stuff is not going to get me into your game. A good story and a good game is what's going to interest me in your game, okay? The fact that you have a female lead, I'm not going to automatically play your game because you have a female lead. I'm not going to play your game because all of a sudden you have a Muslim in your game, okay? Absolutely not. I'm going to play a game if it's a good game. That's it, okay? I hear great things about Pragmata. I want to play Pragmata, okay? If I find out your game is a shooter with a lot of guns and shooting, and the mechanics are good, and it's a good shooter, it's not a broken shooter, I want to play your game, okay? Okay? Trying to convince me to buy your game because it has a woman lead. Oh, look! Kat, you gotta play this video game because it has you're not gonna win me over. On the other hand, if you say, this is a good game with a lot of shooting, it has an interesting story, a lot of varied enemies, a lot of cool weapons, good gun mechanics, I'm gonna be interested. Okay? Though on the other hand, I will admit, Final Fantasy, I got nostalgia for Final Fantasy, I'm sorry. Like, Saros. Okay? I pre-ordered Saros. Why did I pre-order Saros? Because it was made by Housemarque. Okay? Yeah, I heard later the story is an absolute nightmare. You want to know what games I was excited about for this year? No, there won't be. And they just destroyed it. You're right. There won't be. And they don't care. Because I like Warframe. Don't get me wrong. I like Warframe. But I love the world of Destiny more than Warframe. I love the story of what used to be Destiny was about. The gunplay in Destiny. The worlds of Destiny. Destiny used to be more optimistic in a way and hopeful and positive than Warframe. I like Warframe. Don't get me wrong. I love Warframe. But it's not, and people say that Destiny and Warframe, they're similar. Absolutely, they're similar. But Warframe isn't Destiny. And, yeah. Let me put it this way, so I can prove to you the whole thing, okay? The games I was looking forward to this year, okay? Star Fox, definitely, for nostalgia reasons, okay? Pragmata, no. The few games I pre-ordered, okay? Pragmata. Oh, don't even get me started on that. The Osiris and Saint 14 thing. They broke lore. It isn't even just that it was compromised. It's the fact that they broke lore. They didn't even care about the lore. Mylan Games dumped Destiny because the lore, after 10 years of lore, because they didn't care. You come in here, you go, well, it was my fantasy that they always were a couple. It doesn't matter. You don't come in here and you change the lore because you fantasized about two characters together. It doesn't matter. You stick to the lore. That's why with my crazy Star Trek Warframe crossover for fun, do I think it's going to go anywhere? No. But even though it's going to do absolutely nothing, nothing's going to come out of it. I get no money out of it. I'm doing it 100% for fun. I still am obsessive about canon and lore. And sticking to it and making sure every single time I make a decision in that, I go, does this fit the canon of Warframe and Star Trek? So I have whole arguments between the Corpus and the Starfleet, where the Corpus are like, Why don't you do genetic engineering? And having to try and explain, have a Starfleet explain within their canon. You come in here. That's why you destroy. That's why I keep saying you need Destiny people working on Destiny 2. Nayamuna. The moment that pissed me off with Lightfall the most was when they said that the technology on Nayamuna surpassed the Golden Age. Because that's impossible. You want to make Nayamuna fit the lore of Destiny? You could have done it easily if you knew the lore. But these people don't know the lore. First off, the Cloud Striders was moronic. It makes absolutely no sense and doesn't fit into anything Destiny. But you want to do that? First off, get rid of the Cloud Striders. You don't need Cloud Striders. Doesn't make sense. You want to fit Nayamuna into Destiny? It's simple. The Vanguard knew about Nayamuna. First off, the Vanguard knew about it. Say that the Vanguard knew about Nayamuna. What is Nayamuna? A city that was destroyed during the Dark Age. The darkness destroyed Nayamuna and killed everyone. That's why there's no one there. Then the Cabal, or the Fallen, locate Nayamuna. The Vanguard realizes, now, they didn't have anybody on Nayamuna because nobody knew about it. Other than the Vanguard, of course. The Cabal and the Fallen had not found Nayamuna. But the moment they find it, even though they don't have enough people, they realize they have to send Guardians to Nayamuna. Because the Cabal or the Fallen are going to scavenge the Golden Age technology from Nayamuna. So they send you to Nayamuna to stop them. That fits the lore 100%. The Cloud Striders, everybody's in the database. And did you know at one point they said that people in cryo still need to eat? What are you talking about? You stupid idiots. You know nothing about medicine. The whole thing made no sense. That's why people disagree with me on this. But I think if you're going to write for Destiny 2, if you're going to work on the lore for Destiny 2, you have to have played Destiny. Because you need to understand the story of Destiny. Nayamuna makes no sense it makes no sense. The same thing with Osiris and Saint 14. Seriously, the person who wrote about Osiris and Saint 14 flat out admitted he used to dream, he wanted to share his queer life experiences and used to dream about them. Yeah, don't even get me started. I had somebody get mad at me because I would not call him a they-them. No, Nimbus was an idiot character that shouldn't exist at all. Period. But again, like I said, you don't know who your audience is. Do you think... I have not yet found, other than women, okay? I have not found anybody who's a man who likes Nimbus. Everybody hates Nimbus. Everybody hates him. Yes. Flat out, he did. Because I have the tweet from him. And I saved it. Because he blocked me. Eventually, he blocked me. I have it still. Yeah, I think it was under this device. That's May. There's a picture of the May. Yes, Mimi. No, I have it. Because I screenshot it. Okay. His name is Robert Brooks. Okay. He no longer works at Bungie. Back when I joined Bungie, I always felt Saint 14 and Osiris were romantically involved because, as a queer man, their romance made sense to me. I learned my interpretation was in fact correct when I became narrative designer for the company, and I was overjoyed. No, Habibi, they just wanted to pander to you because you had a bunch of women working in that department who were like, oh, let's share your queer life experiences. Nobody cares about your queer life experiences. On top of that, it doesn't even make sense. Okay? It doesn't even make sense. Look, I'm not saying you can't have a gay character, but first of all, Osiris isn't even gay. He's a robosexual. Okay? You took two characters who weren't even canonically friends, apparently, And you changed it because you're a queer man who wanted to share your queer life experiences. That's why I said it's not always women. There's always those exceptions. And this guy was one of those exceptions. I said, not all women suck at writing first-person shooters, and not all men are good at it, because this was a guy who felt he wanted to share his queer life experiences. Does anybody who plays Destiny care about your queer life? No. No. I said, no. I said, I looked it up. 3,000 people bought your stupid emblem. 3,000 people. Out of how many? Over millions? Yeah. Yeah. Your player base are men. Straight men. That's why, because that's why, okay, I'm going to say something that's controversial, but I'm going to say this. Everybody keeps bringing up the harassment allegations that came out from Bungie. I'll tell you why. It's because it's a bunch of women who are whining and complaining. Because Bungie, look, how do I put this, how do I word this properly? All right. Let me start by saying this. I've worked 2 different jobs, okay? I worked for a public library for years, okay? The majority of the people who work in a public library are middle-aged women. I was not a middle-aged woman, but I worked with a lot of middle-aged women. The atmosphere and the people and the whole setting, okay, is very different. Now, I work in a warehouse, okay? I work in retail, but I work in the warehouse, behind the scenes. The joke is you leave HR at the door, okay? Okay? In fact, at one point, apparently someone used warehouse language in another store over the radio or something and got fired, sued, and won or something, okay? It's known, the warehouse is very different, okay? There's, other than, basically, other than one other woman, everybody are guys. Dozens of people have come and gone during holiday seasons on and off. The number of women who have worked in the warehouse with me, I can probably count on one hand. And not a single one of them has lasted as much as me and that one other person. Okay? Because the atmosphere and the environment is very, very different. And it took me a while. When I first started working, it was a shock for me to go from working with a whole bunch of women to working with a whole bunch of guys. And you got to learn how to, and even then, they still, take into account that I'm a woman. You got to be, it's a different, okay? So I'm telling you, I have no doubt, all of those people who ran to HR complaining were a bunch of women who are not used to working with men, who are not used to being told, that's a shitty idea, that's stupid, we're not going to do it. So everything softened. That's why this guy got away with what he wanted. Instead of some guy who, because they fired all the guys, right? The actual old writers from Destiny. They talked about a toxic male writer on the narrative team who would throw chairs and yell, right? Maybe he took it a little too far. But on the other hand, you know what? They set in an atmosphere where if you went up to someone and said, that is a garbage idea, we're not doing it, the person would run to HR and go, they were harassing me. That's why everybody else says that Bungie had a toxic culture and there was a lot of harassment and whatever. Me, on the other hand, I look at it and I go, who was complaining exactly? Because you didn't have that problem in the 90s or the early 2000s. It was only when you started dragging more women into this job and started having women work in a job that's a primarily male field. It's not easy to be a woman working in a male field, and it's not because men are sexist or hate women. It's just how people again, it's going to come down to stereotypes. But when it comes down to it, men, it's a different atmosphere. It's not done on purpose. You really have to build a backbone, okay? I'm not being mean. I'm telling you from having done one job and done another that it took me a while to build a back works work, but the thing is, like I said, I bet you the women expect people to be more sensitive and understanding and not telling them that's a BS idea and we're not doing it. So nobody told this guy it's a BS idea because the writing department was primarily women. Liberal white women who or non-binary they thems. That's why I'm telling you we need. That's why again, scorched earth on Bungie. You're gonna have to go in there. You're gonna have to stop caring. You're gonna have to put it down to, it doesn't matter what you want. Okay? Your company is on the verge of failing, and you have some guy coming here and going, I want to share my queer life experiences. Screw the lore. I'm going to do what I want. And nobody went up to him and said, no? How the hell did nobody go up to this guy and say no? You have years of lore, and you turned Osiris and Saint 14 into the two most pathetic characters in the game. Osiris and Saint 14, the most badass warlock and titan in the history of Destiny. And you turn them into pathetic losers. Where I half expect Saint 14 to be like, Osiris, go into the kitchen and make me a sandwich. And you killed off Sagira in the most pathetic way. All right? And nobody went to this guy and said no. Then that tells me there's something wrong with the culture at Bungie. Because everyone should have been like, but the lore says they weren't a couple. That's stupid. But I always imagined them that way. Doesn't matter. You're imagining them is wrong. I have multiple times in writing about the corpus made mistakes. And you want to know what I did? When people pointed out I made a mistake, I changed it. At one point, I had the corpus having children until someone pointed out, no, they genetically engineer everybody. They're probably born out of artificial wombs. They don't have parents. Most of the corpus don't have parents. They're genetically bred breeding programs where they pop out of artificial wombs. So the whole idea where I had this whole storyline about them having children, and someone was like, no, Kat, you got it wrong. They don't have kids, and I had to go back and change it. Multiple times, I found out that I was wrong about the aging of the corpus, where I thought that, I'm like, there's no way corpus are considered an adolescent at 100. And then I went up and it corrected me. It said that Darvo is 100 years old and considered an adolescent. So I had a 17-year-old corpus teenager, and I'm like, no, actually, the only way for it to fit the canon is he's 17 chronologically, but the corpus aged slower, so he's more like a 6-year-old. Okay? You cannot have the company run based on fifis. If the lore says something, Mylan Games, that was my biggest shock. Honestly, I like him better making up. Mylan Games, who worked on Destiny lore for 10 years, dropped it because Bungie didn't care about their own lore. I love the lore of Destiny. All of it, and you ignored and neglected it and didn't care because all you cared about was your feelings and convenience. It's harder to keep to the canon. It is harder to keep to the lore when you have to look and remember everything. Like I said, I've made mistakes when I've written about the corpus. The fact that my 17-year-old child prodigy is now like a 7-year-old completely turns everything on its head for me because I was wrong. So I had to change things. You have to keep to the lore. And then if you don't care, you'll notice it. Most people have no idea what's going on in Destiny anymore. Why? Because Bungie doesn't care. If you don't care about your lore, why will your player base care? You neglected Osiris and Saint... And it's not just Osiris and Saint 14. I mean, you want to know one of the things that... One of my first signs that Destiny 2 was falling apart? It was before Osiris and Saint 14. It was the season of the Splicer. I absolutely hate Season of the Splicer. Not for the gameplay, but for the story. Because you come in here and you tell me that the Fallen are oppressed victims and the Guardians are oppressors? His goal was to cash out. He had no intent. He doesn't care. Pete Parsons' goal was to cash out. He oversold Bungie to Sony and then planned on cashing out. He wants to get out of there as fast as possible with as minimal amount of effort as possible. He doesn't care. Flat out, I think that was his plan from the moment the sale went through. Okay? And what's his name? Darkside Royalty commented, made a video where he brought this up. The Fallen. You turned the Fallen into oppressed victims. You mean the Fallen who have started multiple wars, who have betrayed us over and over, the Fallen who have killed millions of humans, and you think I should feel bad for them? You come in here and you tell me I'm an oppressive, evil guardian for killing the fallen. When the fallen have started multiple wars with us, killed millions of humans, betrayed us over and over again, and somehow I'm supposed to feel bad for them. Do I have a problem with us eventually working with them? No, but it's not based on we need to help them. They're victims. We've oppressed them. No. Okay? You go to the fallen and you deal with them from a position of strength. You crush them and you say, now we're going to give you a Europa. We owe you nothing. We owe the fallen nothing. But you act like we owe the fallen? We owe them nothing. They came to our solar system to steal from us. And then you act like we owe them. That's the first sign for me that Bungie was falling apart. Okay? That was my first sign. When you start turning the fallen into oppressed victims, this whole oppressed victim BS, you come in here and you tell me that I need to feel bad for the fallen. Again, did they have it difficult? Yes, I understand. The traveler left them, whatever. But you want me to be like, oh, well, we shouldn't have killed them. They came to our solar system as scavengers. You come on the fallen from a position of strength. Okay? You eventually can work things out with them, but you'd be like, we are the more powerful. Okay? We will give you Europa because we're being generous. We owe the fallen nothing. But you act like we owe the fallen? We owe them nothing. What the hell? How do you say that? That was, for me, the first sign where it's like, you've forgotten all of the lore of destiny for you to come in here and say, we owe the fallen. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I said, you can bring the fallen in. You can do good stories with the fallen, but this whole idea that we owe the fallen and that we are oppressors is nonsense. And you need to keep that in mind. And that's what turned me off. And then the fact that Lakshmi 2 died off screen and you find her body just lying there on the ground. You're talking about a character, an original character from Destiny, and you killed her. You put more attention into Osiris and Saint 14 smooching than you did Lakshmi 2. Like I was so hyped for the Vex invading the tower. I thought we would get a whole quest mission, a full story mission, right? Of the Vex invading the tower, and we would see Lakshmi and everything. And no, we got this override over whatever mission, right? And I'm doing these missions and this repeated thing. And someone in my live stream, I was so excited. I started live streaming at 6 a.m. And someone says, you're standing on Lakshmi 2's body. And I'm like, what? And then I look down and yeah, I'm standing on Lakshmi 2's body. A OG character from Destiny. And you treat her like garbage. You put more time into Osiris and Saint 14 kissing than you did Lakshmi 2. I have a friend whose favorite character was Lakshmi 2. Okay? Absolutely loves Future War Cult. And you treated this character like garbage. You put more attention into, seriously, the stupid teacup scene. You didn't need that scene. It didn't even make sense. You took all those artifacts and melted them so that Osiris was swallowing hot molten metal or something? No, from that moment on, I had doubts about the storytelling. The moment you started calling Guardians oppressors, and that we owe the fallen, you lost me. Then you take the Crow, another character. I liked the Crow. At first, when I found out that Aldrin Sov was coming back, I was angry because I'm like, he killed Cade. But then I was like, okay, you can do good storytelling. You ruined Aldrin Sov. Okay, the Crow initially seemed like a cool character. You turned him into a whiny baby. I got tired of him. All he's doing is whining about, oh, I'm the brother of Mara Sov. I'm older. And dude, shut up. The whole nightmare thing where he's whining constantly about his past. Oh my God, dude. Get over yourself. All of that. Get over yourself. You turned all the male characters into losers. I like strong male characters. I want strong male characters. Yes. So did Callus. 100%. Hey. No, I liked the Crow. I knew that the Crow was going to be freed. When the spider said, you could pick one thing from my room, that was a trope. Yes, an annoying, whiny brat. I could not stand him. I hate what they did. Zavala. Okay, Zavala. I love the character of Zavala. Don't get me wrong, Kate is my favorite. I get adding more history to Zavala, okay? Don't get me wrong. That was interesting, right? But having him go to grave after grave after grave for centuries, begging for forgiveness, that's what happened, okay? So Zavala marries a woman, adopts a kid. The kid is killed by the Fallen. You want to know what she does? She dumps him, goes with another man, starts another family without him, and then what does Zavala do? When she dies, goes to her grave and begs for forgiveness. Goes to her children's graves and begs for forgiveness. Goes to their children's graves and generation after generation, going to their graves begging for forgiveness. That's not Zavala. Oh, yeah, he might feel bad about the boy dying, but eventually he's the commander of the Vanguard. You turned Zavala into a weenie. How do you turn Zavala into a loser? The only good thing is you killed off Cade in Forsaken. Thank God, because you would have ruined him too. I wish that Cade didn't have to die in Forsaken, but at least he didn't pull a Zavala on him. Bungie is dead. I've gone through how they need to go scorched to earth. I've gone through it, all right? I've basically gone through, because I need to, it's getting late here. But I've gone through and I've already said how to save Bungie, okay? How they need to save Bungie. And they need to go, basically, they need to go through and basically clean house at Bungie. Because, as I said, the CEO of Bungie needs to do a lot of things. And first off, like I said, I keep saying it. Why are 400 people working on Marathon right now when you have 300 people at Digital Extremes working on Warframe? You have people working at Bungie right now who are not carrying their weight. That's why I said it. I'll give my summary one more time. Have a good night. Thank you, New York sports fan. We're close to. You're near me. I'm in New Jersey. I'll give my summary on it one last time before I head out, okay? This is what needs to be done, okay? You need to bring in a CEO who's going to go scorched earth, who's not going to care, who's there to save the company, okay? This isn't about Destiny 3 now. Destiny 3, if I had a choice, I'd give it to another studio. But if you want to save Bungie, period, this is what you're going to do. You're going to have the CEO come in. CEO is going to stand in front of the entire company and going to make a speech, okay? They're going to come into and they're going to say this, okay? New CEO of Bungie. We are facing a financial crisis. Every day that the doors are open is another lucky day we have, because at any moment, Sony might come in here and shut us down, all right? Every employee at Bungie is going to reapply for your job. You're going to prove to me why you deserve to work for Bungie. Thousands of video game developers are losing their jobs every day. Okay? Well, not every day, but thousands have lost their jobs. Show me that you deserve the job here. Because we can't afford to pay your salaries. Make it clear. We can't afford to pay your salary. Prove to me why you deserve it. Every employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job. Because I don't want 400 people working on Marathon. You need to half that. There's no reason 400 people should be working on Marathon. And this is what you do, okay? First off, drop the PvE from Marathon, okay? You're going to focus on... Marathon is going to be an extraction shooter right now. Marathon is not going to... No matter what you do to Marathon is not going to maintain Bungie. Period. There is no way, no matter what you do to Marathon, it's not going to hold Bungie up. You have to focus on Destiny. Destiny is your cash cow. Period. It's been proven. Marathon isn't going to maintain Bungie. You put 200 people on Marathon. Okay? You're going to be firing a lot of people. But you, as I said, every employee at Bungie has to reapply for their job and prove that they belong there. Period. Anybody who complains, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Period. We are in scorched earth mode. Period. They have an investors meeting at the end of July. How do you think Sony's going to take it? You want to not incur any more loss on Bungie? They're going to be firing people. Because Marathon's not going to make money in the next 2.5 months. Not enough money to sustain Bungie. They sold 1.2 million copies. Okay? If every person who bought Marathon buys the season pass, that's $12 million. That's not enough. Not to make it up, Sony does not want $12 million out of Bungie in 2.5 months. So, they're going to fire people. So you tell everybody at Bungie, period, you're going to reapply for your job and prove to me why you deserve to be there. And every day, you're checking in, because I have to do it, and I work in retail. Every day you're going to check in and you're going to tell me what you're doing. That's it. Okay? Next, we're getting rid of all the diversity inclusivity clubs. Because when you come to work at Bungie, you come to work. You don't come to hang out with your women at Bungie. You don't come here to hang out with your black at Bungie or your trans at Bungie. None of that. That's a waste of time. How do you have time for women at Bungie and yet your game is failing? Why do you need 400 people on Marathon? Okay? Every single one of those clubs is shut down. And if you complain, if you have a problem with it, if you feel like you're not being represented, there's the door. We can't afford to pay for your salary. Leave. You're fired. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Facts don't care about your fifis right now. They don't have the money to keep you. Anything, you're out. Because there's no doubt about it. Sony wants them firing people. So anybody who complains, I don't feel represented. Bye-bye, honey. We don't need you. The company is struggling. Then, okay, as I said, you're not shutting Marathon down, but the CEO is going to come on. No more long blog posts. Every week the CEO is going to come on and he's going to talk to the players because you have absolutely lost every cent of trust from the Destiny 2 community. You're going to come out and you're going to make a video, the CEO of Bungie, and he's going to apologize. He's going to come out there and say, I am sorry. We were wrong. We didn't realize how much Destiny 2 meant to you. We thought you didn't care. We will not be shutting down Destiny 2. We don't have any new content for the year. We are sorry. We were going to shut it down because we didn't think you cared. But now we realize we were wrong. And we're going to continue to maintain Destiny 2. Okay? Until we release Destiny 3. Next, you go to Sony and you tell them we need $20 million and a year and a half for another studio to port Destiny to PC because you need something to keep your audience. And you port Destiny to PC and you remaster Destiny. I already looked into it. It should cost $20 million and a year and a half. That's your deadline. You get the best of the best and you get them working on that. You find anyone, I think, what's it named? Platinum? Get a good studio. $20 million. I want Destiny on PC and I want it remastered. You have a year and a half. That's your deadline. And then you start working on Destiny 3. And the other thing is, the most important thing, Age of Triumph has to work flawless. Because people are already saying Age of Triumph is going to be a buggy mess. Prove the players wrong. Step 1, your first step to gaining the trust of the players, Age of Triumph has to work flawless, not a single bug. Period. You cannot. And over and over and over for the next year, you have to listen to the players and prove them wrong. Every time they assume you're going to do the worst, you do better. Age of Triumph, you list what's going to be in it, and you add extra surprises in it. You lost all the trust of the players. So you're going to have to go out of your way to impress them. You want people coming online and saying, I thought they were going to suck. Well, that's why Thug Life, I agree with you. My method, they'll never do it. This is the only way to save Bungie. Saying all this nonsense about marathon's going to save us isn't going to work. This is how you're going to save Bungie. You have to go crunch mode and you have to go scorched earth. Not going to happen, but that's how you do it. You want to save Bungie? That's how you do it. They're not going to do it. They're too caught up in protecting everyone's fifis and the diversity and the inclusivity and the representation nonsense. They're too concerned about what Kotaku and Polygon and Blue Sky. Someone brought up Blue Sky earlier, and they're like too afraid to offend Blue Sky. Okay, you're too scared of offending Blue Sky. You know what you do? Don't have any accounts on Blue Sky. Don't even install Blue Sky. There are not enough people on Blue Sky to give a damn. Don't waste your time. Kotaku complains, ignore them. Most gamers don't care what Kotaku says. Especially if Kotaku starts whining about something stupid. Oh my god, Bungie shut down the Black Set Bungie. Nobody cares. Gamers aren't going to care. You really think gamers are going to care if Bungie gets rid of trans at Bungie? No, they're not. In fact, most of them are going to be like, finally, we don't want this shit. We want a working game. And let me be clear. Let me be absolute. If I felt Marathon was the better option, I would have said it. But we know for a fact Marathon is not. Every year you have a Destiny 2 expansion that costs $100. They sell at least 1 million. They're not getting that. And Marathon is not getting that. You managed to sell over 1 million copies of an expansion that costs $100 to Destiny 2 players. And you can't sell $40 game for Marathon. The Marathon makes no sense. And how many people are going to buy cosmetics in Destiny 2 now if the game is going to be put on maintenance mode? Their cosmetic sales are going to be through the gutter. They don't have an expansion coming out this year. And Marathon isn't going to maintain it. That's why I'm saying you have to have every employee who walks in the door at Bungie, every time they walk in that door, go, thank God that door is open. Because at any moment that door can be shut. Every day that the studio is open is a lucky day. And you need to keep that in mind. These people act like they think somehow that they could they're not at risk. They are at risk. And let me be clear. I agree. Would I think it better if another studio took over Destiny 3? 100%. That's why this is how to save Bungie. This isn't just about Destiny. Because even if another studio took over for Destiny 3, it's going to be years from now. That's why I also said, port Destiny, original Destiny, to PC, have another studio do it. Bungie can't. Bungie needs to focus on Destiny 3 and maintaining Destiny 2. So, there are going to be less updates for Destiny 2, but make it clear. Destiny 2 is going to continue to be supported. Okay? Until Destiny 3 comes out. This is to save Bungie. Okay? Maybe bring in another studio to help Bungie. But if they don't start taking this seriously, Bungie will only exist in name, like BioWare. It's just a name at this point. Okay? The Marathon gamble makes no financial sense at all. Okay? It makes absolutely no sense. And let me be absolutely clear. If I thought Marathon would make more sense, you're not the only one. A lot of people would love a Destiny port, especially if it's 60 frames per second. People would love it. And like I said, remaster it. According to, look, Grok could be wrong, but $20 million? How much did it cost to make Expedition 33? Okay? It should take 1 to 2 years to port and remaster. Keep in mind, it was port and remaster Destiny to PC. Okay? Basically, you go out there, you go to a bunch of studios at Sony, and you say, all right, we want to port Destiny to PC and we want to remaster it. 60 frames per second. Okay? We want to add a few of the quality of life updates from Destiny 2. And I'm not talking the big stuff. I'm just talking like just the you don't even need to. You know what? You don't even need that. You just need Destiny, okay? You go out there, you go, all right, go to all the studios, be like, all right, you have 18 months and $20 million. We want Destiny remastered and put on PC. Who's going to do it for us? I'm sure Sony can find someone. And you add crossplay. Yes. Destiny crossplay. That shouldn't be that hard. PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Destiny 1, 18 months. And you sell it for $60. You don't gradually release it. You sell it for $60. Okay? You can even add in a few extra cosmetics or whatever to make it more appealing. Be like, hey, we've added this and this and this. Okay? That will carry the community a year and a half. They'll be looking, they hype up Destiny 1 on PC. And that might give you another year. Maybe a year and a half. So you have 3 years. You start working on Destiny 3. And you put everything into Destiny 3. And you turn to Sony and you tell Sony this is going to be an investment into Bungie. And you're going to have to beg Sony and tell them we're going to make it worth it. Because you already lost Sony's trust too. You think Sony trusts Bungie right now? Sony doesn't trust Bungie either. Because they lied about their value. So Sony's going to have a hard job proving so Bungie's going to have a hard time proving to Sony that they deserve any kind of investment. After the failure of Marathon, you really think Sony is probably smiling to the audience and to investors, and on the inside are yelling and cursing at Bungie because they lied about their value, and Marathon's not worth anything? How the hell does it take you 6 years to make a game with 4 maps and 6 characters? There is less content in Marathon than the Crucible in Destiny 1. How? And it took you 6 years to make that? How? I mean, for real, how? That's why they're a bunch of spoiled brats who just don't want to work at this point. I mean, what else can I how else do you explain it? I don't know. But that's how you save Bungie. I would rather have a good Destiny 3. But if you want to save Bungie, that's the only way. Scorched Earth, and you go through and like I said, you do not have the luxury of pandering to anybody right now. Kotaku whines and complains about you not having DEI. You ignore them. Polygon complains that you did something or other. Or I've not played Marathon. I'll admit I'm not interested. I'm not giving them my money for Marathon. I'm angry about Marathon. But I'm going to ask you this. How many of the Marathon players are Destiny 2 people who were hoping there would be a Destiny 3? How many Marathon players, because I've spoken with a couple of them who cursed me out on X, who were supporting Marathon, thinking that by supporting Marathon they're supporting Bungie and a Destiny 3. Okay? How many of them? No, I mean, seriously. There is less... Excuse me, sorry. My allergies are acting up. Think about it. there is less content. Not all of them. Not all of the marathon players are happy Destiny died. There's some marathon players who are Destiny 2 players who were waiting for Destiny 2 to get their next update and are not happy. But no, just seriously, it's the truth. There are less maps and game modes in Marathon than Crucible in Destiny 1. Let's see if this will connect. I don't know, I think family members... according to a Bloomberg article, there's no Destiny 3 in the works. They're not making Destiny 3. That's it. And about half of them are going to be... That's why I'm telling you, they have completely ruined their reputation. Because there's no Destiny 3 in the works. There's nothing. Okay? And they're putting all their money, all their bets on Marathon. And I don't see how, because we looked into it. They don't even get very much money from Destiny Rising. They just get the license fees for Destiny Rising. That's it. So, there's nothing. They're putting everything onto Marathon. There's no Destiny 3. You'd think at least last year, when they saw how Year of Prophecy was doing, they'd be like, okay, maybe we need to start looking into Destiny. There are tons of people who stopped playing Destiny 2 years ago who are saying, if you showed me Destiny 3, I will come back for Destiny 3. It doesn't, and again, let me just be absolutely 100% clear. Okay, no, I can't start playing anything. I need to actually head out and get to bed because I have a wedding tomorrow. Let me be absolutely... If I thought Marathon was the better option, even though I don't like Marathon, if I thought Marathon was what would save Bungie, I would say it. But the math isn't mathing, okay? Marathon cannot sustain Bungie. No matter how much you like Marathon, it cannot sustain Bungie. I appreciate that, thank you. But look, I've been playing Destiny since the Taken King. I'll admit it, I did not play Destiny from the launch. I played Destiny 2 since the beta. But oh my god, I still have the collector's edition from Destiny 2. I have the bag. I mean, I'm wearing a hunter's hat. You want to know how much of a Destiny fan I am? I have Destiny 2 socks. Okay? If the thing is, right? I don't know. I'm saying I don't want Bungie to fail, but at the same time, I reinstalled Destiny 2. Why is there an error? I think my internet isn't working very good right now. So I guess it's because I'm live streaming, and I think I have people using it. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Which, by the way, I'm going to give you a warning in advance. I get all flustered because I don't expect people to do that. So I get all flustered and embarrassed. People like to do that sometimes just to see me get all flustered. Look, the best way to put it is this way. I have a Destiny wallet. Let me just not dox myself. I have a Destiny wallet. Look. I need to head out because it's getting late and I have a wedding tomorrow. But I needed to just... I mean, I have the penguin. Anyone remember the penguin from Beyond Light? I don't know. I mean, the fact that I still make Zer videos for Destiny every week. And it's not because I care about this game. And I hate to see it like this. I can't. I have a wedding tomorrow. My brother's wedding. Not exactly. It's a 2-part wedding kind of thing. I don't even understand it. I just know there's a big party tomorrow, so I don't know what's going on. Plus, look, I'll do one last thing, all right? Because I gotta head out. All right. I haven't opened this yet, but I have this. I mean, you want to know? Wow! Thank you for the $5 super chat. Wow. Let me look. I have. Okay. All right. I have this. Okay. This was a gift from Okay. I have this one. This is like a bicycle jacket. It says "Be brave" on it. Okay. And my absolute favorite is this one. They don't sell this one anymore. Oh my God. Wow. Thank you for the dams. Thank you for that. Nobody ever does that. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I am at a loss for. Thank you for that. No one ever does that. I just. Wow. I appreciate it. Thank you. But, for what? You said all I did was tell. I don't know. I said. Yes! You know what? Yes. You know what? That would be awesome. Let's do that. I want that. There are raids I really want to do. I have Destiny. By the way, before I head out, I have Destiny on PlayStation and Xbox. I have maintained characters on PlayStation and Xbox. The only reason I have a character that's not level 40, light 400 on Xbox is because I deleted my character again to start all over. Because I have been replaying this campaign so many times. I would love to do raids with people. I would absolutely love. As I said, though, this weekend I have, and I'm not even sure I'll be able to do anything on Sunday. I'm not even sure I'll be able to come on Sunday because the wedding is in the evening. Damn! Johnny the Kid, not you too! Just 'cause I don't even understand why. So, anyway, I have to, like I said, I have to get to bed. You guys, I was planning on only staying on until 8, but it was nice talking to people who appreciate Destiny. My gamer tag on PlayStation, just a warning, I usually don't show up. I'm usually invisible because on Friday mornings I have work. Have a Discord. I do have a Discord. Okay, first off, my gamer tag on PlayStation is Feline Revolution, okay? My gamer tag on Xbox is Feline Uprising, okay? Look me up, okay? I don't know if I'm going to be here on Saturday or Sunday because the wedding is going to be late. It's in the city. Look. The thing is, what's the point of speaking anything but facts? Lying to yourself isn't going to change anything. You learn that. Pretending something, lying to yourself isn't going to change anything. You have to be honest. Because no matter how much you pretend, it's not going to change reality. Yeah. I do have one. I just need to figure out. I do have a Discord. Next time I'm on, I will, or DM me. I'm on X at Gamer Hijabi. Just the corpus marketing director. Send me a DM. You can send me a friend request. That's me on PlayStation. I am Feline Uprising on Xbox. Yes, I like cats, so you'll know it's me because there's a cat. I really, it is getting late, but I no one has ever done that. All I did was tell it says oh, and I am House Cat Hero on Steam. So I'm on Steam as well because I really like video games. Okay, I will look it up on my phone and accept it because anyway, it's just these two. So I'm just going to warn people in advance. This weekend and next weekend, I'm going to be extremely busy because it's a Bangladeshi wedding from Bangladesh, and it is 2 parts. So we have something tomorrow, apparently, and then the actual wedding is next week. So I'm going to have 2 very busy weekends with my brother's wedding. Yeah, yeah. So I have to go, but I appreciate everything. It's just nice talking to people about Destiny. I love the game, and it's nice to know I'm not alone on that, and I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to playing Destiny with other people. So, have a good night, all. And I'd bring May May, but May May's